Welcome to the city of splendid ancient buildings bearing wealth of culture and history. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Dr. Shwetananda, and it gives me enormous pleasure on behalf of Amity University to welcome you all at the inaugural of the 4th esteemed international conference, Intelligent Engineering and Management, ICIEM 2023. At Birkbeck University in London. Esteemed speakers, colleagues, and students, I'm delighted to share that for this conference from 9th to 10th of May, we have been joined by over 150 participants across the globe, including Japan, Hungary, Saudi Arabia, Germany, Sweden, Norway, and India. This conference includes paper presentation under IEEE and for the Scopus Index Springer special issue on digital transformation, emerging technologies, and sustainable growth. Amity International Business School, Amity University, understands the values, societal contexts, and research purpose for which we are here to examine and deliberate on what we are and how we do for a sustainable world. Businesses across the globe are striving to offer sustainable growth to meet the demand of development goals. This conference fosters the way forward to action on a number of fronts, including harnessing and maximizing the potential of technological innovations. Indeed, on this momentous day, under the leadership of our Honorary Founder President, Amity University, and Group Vice Chancellor, Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, together with International Affairs Division, I feel so honored to yet again welcome to the veteran speakers, deans, our pool of incredible alumni, academicians, and researchers of the top universities across the globe. Ladies and gentlemen, give a warm welcome to the audience out here, please. May I now invite Dr. Luminita Vasu, Principal, Amity University in London, for the welcome address, please.
Distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, research fellow, and students. It is with great pleasure to welcome you today to the IEEE conference. As we gather here, it is a reminder of us how important it is the international collaboration in advancing our fields of study. Today and tomorrow, we will have meaningful discussion, research, sharing, and learning from each other. This conference is a platform for all of us to connect, innovate, and find different ways of research. I would like to extend my gratitude to the organizing committee for putting together this amazing event. Their tireless work actually paid off, and we are very grateful for their contribution. To the keynote speaker, thank you for sharing your experience and insight with us. Your presentation will undoubtedly inspire us and challenge us to think critically about the issue under debate. To all the presenters today, I commend your work and your devotion to research. Your contribution is essential, and I am very much looking forward to learn from your talks. To all of you here, thank you for being today with us. We really appreciate your attendance and participation. And this is actually what makes this conference a success. I encourage you to engage with your peers, to exchange ideas, to explore possibility of new collaboration, and also to share from good practice and learn from each other. I will want to wish you all very good luck with the proceeding, and also I will advise you to take the opportunity to share, innovate, and advance of our fields of studies. Thank you.
Thanks indeed. Thank you, Dr. Luminita Vasu. Now, I take this moment to introduce you to Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh, the Group Vice Chancellor, Amity Universities, Chairman, Global Foundation for Learning Excellence, who has an extensive experience of more than 28 years in the institutional building, teaching, consultancy, research, and industry. He is the first one who has been with the Amity family from the day one. He has done his bachelor's in international business with master's from IIFT and has multiple badges and distinctions across all domains. May I request Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh to please come up on the stage and present the remarks and theme presentation, sir.
Some days are truly historical, and it's a historical day when Amity family, which has got 16 foreign campuses, 12 universities in India, is holding one of the largest conferences in UK. We are truly privileged to see so many researchers from across the world. And my heart goes to each one of you who has contributed so significantly. Can I request all of you to give a huge applause to all the speakers, researchers who are here. Few of our very able researchers, speakers, and academic leaders whom I can see here. They were asking me that how we started up Amity in London. Amity is a dream child of Dr. Chauhan, who has been not only the founder of Amity family, but created a new revolution, not only in India, but brought something on which the entire world feels so proud of. Today, Amity is the largest private education group of India. And we can see large number of students from Amity, from the study abroad program, for our MBA program in London, and from other programs sitting here presenting papers, as well as the researchers from across the globe, are very able alumni who is here. But when Dr. Chauhan started up Amity, at that time, there was no private university, there was no private education group. So he came with a passion from Europe that he needs to make a difference into the life of youngsters who are sitting here. So if you are smiling today, if you are today in London, if today we are having a 175 acres campus in New York, if today we have got a university in Singapore, if we have got a university in Dubai, if we are present in Mauritius, if we are present in Netherlands, if we are present in all the countries of Africa, it is because of the untiring effort of our founder, Dr. Chauhan. And then he gave very able leadership in the hands of our chancellors, Dr. Atul Chauhan, who himself is a product of London School of Economics. And London is always very close to our heart. I remember that 15 years back, Dr. Lumi, when we came here for the first time, and we met few of our friends, Dr. Peter Taylor, who was the first principal of Amity London. And when we were looking at that, how we should be able to create it was a history, how we created it. And then we got some of our friends who are sitting. I can see Professor Petford here sitting, who really helped us in not only strengthening our operations, and many vice chancellors from UK, very senior people who were trying to do and strengthening Dr. Atul Chauhan's hand. And Dr. Lumi came, and she not only spearheaded, she not only led it, but made it a difference into the life of hundreds and hundreds of the students who are here. We are truly inspired with the presence of some of our very close friends and stalwarts who are here. Lord Bilimoria, if you can just wave. Here's Dr. Lord Bilimoria, Chancellor of University of Birmingham, our very close friend and a leader of leader, whom when he will speak and when he will talk to you, you will be able to understand the kind of great vision he has, how he has been able to not only strengthen University of Birmingham, but his presence across the globe. Whenever he comes, whenever he speaks, whenever he addresses people, you can understand the kind of passion he brings in. It's not only that the UK feels so proud, we also feel proud that you have your roots from India. Give a huge applause to him. I was told that we are the first one in UK to host the IEEE conference. And our thanks to Professor Mike Hinchy, who's not well, but has joined us online. Look at it. 5 years back, we started this process. We met Professor Mike Hinchy in UK. And we were looking at that how we should be able to organize an event. And he said that if you want to organize an event, there's no group who has been able to organize an IEEE event in UK. So we took this challenge and we brought some of the brightest engineers, brightest of the AI experts, brightest of machine learning and data analytics expert. And we did it in the University College London, our first conference. And from there, this process started. And today, when I'm standing here, I feel so proud that this is for the 4th time that we are organizing. Give a huge applause to the IEEE and their representatives who have joined us. But we feel so proud that we are the only Asian education group who has been able to do it. Professor Ricky Lester, the CEO of the Case Center, we met her 2 years back. And from there, the friendship started. And this was one of the strongest partnerships which we have been able to develop. I remember that 2 years back, Lord Billimura, when I was at Harvard, and I met Professor Dattar, who was the Dean of the Harvard Business School. We said that we want to create some of the very interesting case studies in the world. And he said that, well, we want that you should be able to do it, but how you're going to do that. So this is our answer. Professor Ricky Lester, CEO of the Case Center and MIT, we have come together and we have promised to each other that we are going to create the largest number of case studies of the world, 1,000 cases. We are going to do that. We had a very successful conference in Bush in India. And then we are about 250 cases were presented. We are having another very successful, looking forward to host this conference with large number of researchers, students, alumni, they are presenting their cases. And yesterday, there was a gentleman here who was working on distillery. Don Primoria, he has done a research work on you. He's presenting a paper. Where's the gentleman? Can you stand up? Yeah, here's a gentleman, 19-year-old, and that is how, please sit down. And he's already a bottler, an entrepreneur, and he wants to, but he has done a case study on you and on your company. And that is what the amazing energy is all about. When you as young people, as 18-year-old, as 19-year-old, as 20-year-old, when you visit foreign countries, you look at some of the very successful people, they become your success story. And who knows that tomorrow this gentleman is able to do something taking inspiration from Lord Bilimoria and create another success story. He wants to create a Cobra brand. Yeah. All the best to you. but that is what I think that the inspiration matters. So Professor Vicky Lester, the large number of cases we are going to present, but thank you so very much for helping us. Industry is a backbone. And I think that all those who are traveling from across the globe, you're very lucky that you have got Mr. Richard, who's the Group CEO of UK India Business Council. If you can just I think today, if you look at India, it is amongst the top 5 economies of the world. The world has to understand India. The world has to understand the immense power of youth who's sitting here, the youngest nation of the world with the highest population, but still very few people understand India. And we are so privileged that UK India Business Council and the Group CEO has done a tremendous work. And all of you will get number of opportunities to be working very closely, creating projects, creating cases, and then looking and exploring that what you can do, whether you are in India or in UK or in Europe. Give a huge applause to him. Professor Sabu Paramdas, who is representing Southampton, again, our partner, who is one of the known researchers. And we requested him that why don't you come over, and thank you so very much for becoming a part of. Give a huge applause to him. Ms. Lopa Patel, who will be joining us in a short while, again, one of the strongest CEOs of UK and the most influential woman in UK tech. Welcome. I think that you have come at the right time. I was introducing you only. Give a huge applause to Ms. Lopa Patel. And I think that you will be able to understand that when she comes up and when she comes on a stage and she talks to you, but all of these speakers, they are the living inspiration for you. Professor Petford, I have spoken about you, but Professor Petford is one of the most influential academicians, one of the greatest leaders which UK has produced. He has not only been the Vice Chancellor of the various universities for 15 years, but has also been successfully leading now 3 companies in India, in China, in Middle East, and in other parts of the world. We also have with us Mr. Babar, a very able rector of our Uzbekistan campus. And it's a history which MIT has written across the globe. And Mr. Babar, you have played a very important role. And we feel so proud that you are here today. You are a part of MIT family, but it's an amazing story of success, which we have created through you and through a dedicated team at Uzbekistan. Give a huge welcome to Mr. Babar. So 2 conferences, one, the first time IEEE conference, which we organized 4 years back, and this is the 4th edition now. The Case Center, first one from India and from Asia to host it. And the third one with the Springer. Give a huge applause to our friends from Springer who are here. And why we are doing it, these 3 conferences, because we feel that without research, without contributing in the area which is most crucial for academics, without taking and recognizing the efforts of leading academicians across the globe, no university can become successful. So MIT, as a leading research and innovation driven university and the leading research and innovation group of the world, has tried that we should be able to bring some of the world leaders, some of the top academicians, some of the top researchers of the world. And thank you so much, Professor Yoshinowa from Tokyo City University. Give a huge applause for him. Professor A.K. Verma from Western Norway University of Applied Sciences. Professor Uday Kumar from Lulia University, and Professor P.K. Kapoor. And Professor P.K. Kapoor, our very able director of MIT Center of Interdisciplinary Research, who at the age of 80 is working day and night. And if we are able to do a conference with Springer in UK, it is because of the efforts of Professor Kapoor, Professor Yoshinawa, Professor Uday Kumar, and the dedicated team which he has brought. Give a huge applause to all of them. I can also see large number of our alumni. I can see Taha, who is a CEO of UK Asia Business Council, one of our very successful alumni. Lord Billamoria, he talks very high about you. He talks whenever I tell him that what you want to do, I think that he wants to contest elections. But he is always full of praises for you and also for you, Ms. Patel. Thank you so very much for grooming him. He is your mentee now. I can see Siddharth, Khushbu, Talika, Bansal. Yeah, he's here. Thank you so very much. I think that if MIT is successful, if we have been able to create campuses across the globe, it is because of the wonderful efforts which all of you have put in. We also see Professor Simon, who is representing Oxford Brookes, one of the leading researchers. Thank you so very much for coming and for blessing this important event. Some people in the world, they only add happiness. So we can see our Erasmus Plus scholars. If all of you can just raise your hands. There are 3 scholars, right, who have come from Europe and from other parts of the world. And large number of our scholars. Give a huge applause for all of them who are presenting their papers and their case studies. As I was saying that at MIT, the culture is to create happiness and also to award those who have been able to do some good work which can add happiness into the life of others. I'm so privileged to introduce Dr. Sushil Jain, if you can just raise your hands. An unusual doctor from India, one of the best surgeons whom we have met, a very humble person. I saw him at Apollo, how he treats people. Very few surgeons will receive their patients at the gate of the hospital. So Dr. Lumi, when I was entering, you were saying that why I'm standing at the gate, right? So we have learned from Dr. Jain that you have to receive your guest always at the gate. He is the one who receives his patients at the gate of Apollo. He will pick them up, he'll put them on the stretcher, and then he will play music, right, to make them comfortable. And then he operates on them. His patients, they worship him. And that is the reason that we have brought him here in this conference to present with you. Give a huge applause to him. As MIT family, we feel so proud on our students, on our alumni who are here, study abroad program students who are here. Let me tell you that you are not only lucky that you are getting such international exposure, and those who are from the MIT University in London who have joined us. International experience will help you. You maybe that you will not realize it today, but years later, wherever in the world you are, you will learn from the alumni that you will remember this experience, which is going to change your life. Even traveling on underground, presenting cases, meeting successful people like this, this is going to transform your life. With all humbleness, with all confidence, on behalf of MIT Group, on behalf of our founder, on behalf of our chancellors, on behalf of all trustees, 12 vice chancellors, 16 director generals, on my own behalf as a group vice chancellor, it is such a privilege to meet you and to host something which no one has hosted ever in London. Thank you so very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have been waiting for the moment. So let's make this moment worth it. We are blessed here with our Honorable Chancellor, Amity University, who is here with us online. So we look forward to the address by Dr. Atul Chauhan, who is the Honorable Chancellor of Amity University. Over to you, sir.
Thank you so much. Dr. Singh, I have come online for you to congratulate you and the whole team for organizing the 4th conference in London. I am so happy to see that you have partnered with the Case Center, IEEE, and Springer to really organize a very unique 2 days where we will focus on engineering, in management. And as you rightly said, Dr. Singh, at Amity, we are passionate about research. These conferences make a huge impact, give an opportunity to many researchers from around the world to come present their papers, publish, which is so important for any academician. As was told to the August audience, Amity was the dream, the brainchild of our founder, Dr. Ashok Chauhan, who, as one of the biggest Indian-born industrialists in West Europe, West Germany at that point of time, a self-made entrepreneur, had this big dream that what can I do for my country that has given me so much? And 30 years ago, our family established, Dr. Chauhan established the not-for-profit Education Foundation, which 30 years ago started with 100 students in India. Now we are present in 16 countries with 200,000 students studying full-time with us and many hundreds of thousands of students studying online. And as for any university, generation of knowledge is imperative. And that is why our big focus, and Dr. Singh, you as one of the big pillars of Amity, you have been with us for right from the beginning, responsible for the whole international expansion. And that is why I am so proud that even our academic conferences you take across the world, not only whether it is in our New York campus, our Singapore campus, our campus in Tashkent or in London, but all over the world, even with the leading universities, that makes a big difference. But I am very especially happy today of this conference in London because London was our first campus outside of India so many years ago and was really the precursor once we saw the huge benefits that one can have between the collaboration of scientists and faculty members from across the world with our faculty in India, the mobility, and I can see so many of our study abroad program students who are here. We truly believe that in this day and age, to have an international exposure, a worldly view is so important. And every year, tens of thousands of our students travel across Amity campuses around the world, which is a truly unique model. Last week, I was sitting with the president of New York University, who also have campuses. And in Bedford Square, our first office building was right next to the NYU campus in London. And he said to me that I say so often that if there is one university in the world which has a similar philosophy as NYU, to have campuses around the world, it is Amity University. And Dr. Singh, to you, I can see Kanishk on the screen. There are so many members in the international office who have worked so hard over the years. Dr. Singh, you mentioned, I can see Bobur, who is here. Mr. Bobur, we are so proud. As a foundation, we are now being invited by governments around the world to set up campuses. Tashkent is one example where when the president of Republic of Uzbekistan visited India and met with our Honorable Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, it was decided that one Indian university should open up in Uzbekistan to focus on information technology teaching, which is such a strength of India. We were very honored when the Indian government and the government of Uzbekistan requested Amity to open our campus there. It is fully funded. The campus has been given by the government of Uzbekistan. The building was constructed. I have never seen a government work so fast as the government of Uzbekistan did. Funded the whole campus, and we could just move in and start our education. And we are now proud to have over 1,000 brilliant students of Uzbekistan studying with us. In a similar fashion, when we are sitting in the UK, but because of Brexit, some of the companies were leaving the United Kingdom and going to Europe. There was a huge competition between European cities to attract some of the companies to come. And Amsterdam needed one more elite international school, and the government did a global search, and they finally requested us. The two best schools were the International School of Amsterdam and the British School of Amsterdam. And on the request of the government of Netherlands, we opened the Amity International School there. Within our signing, within a week, the European Medical Association signed the agreement with the Netherlands to shift many of their families to there. So the impact that education can make across the world is tremendous. But Dr. Singh, let me congratulate you for being able to invite such amazing, tall leaders to be here today, to interact with the audience in person and online. Lord Bilimoria, one of the greatest businessmen, not only in the United Kingdom, but across the world, a true entrepreneur. For all the young people who are online today, take Lord Bilimoria as an example of, if you have the dream, if you have the passion, if you work extraordinarily hard, you can achieve anything in life. The business that Lord Bilimoria has achieved, a great parliamentarian, one of the greatest ambassadors for relationships between India and the United Kingdom. Lord Bilimoria, we are so grateful to you and so proud for what you are doing, not only for our two countries, but for the globe. Dr. Nick Pedford, Dr. Singh, I'm not able to see, but you were mentioning that is there a great, like Lord Bilimoria, Dr. Pedford, we feel like one family with you. Of course, the Northampton degrees we offer at our London campus for so many years. You have enabled us to do that. A great academic leader. Let me at the same time, Dr. Lumi is there, Dr. Singh. Dr. Luminita Vasiu, the principal and head of our London campus, an amazing lady who is single-handedly with her team leading and nurturing our campus in London. And to all the students who would have interacted with her, she is a very, very motherly person. Even when I come, she always takes so much care. Dr. Lumi, we are so proud of the way you are heading our campus in London. I can see Dr. Vicky Lester, the CEO of the Case Center, again, a very, very important partner to Amity. And Dr. Vicky, as you know, at Amity, we have produced some amazing, our management schools have produced amazing case studies. And I'm always proud and I'm always amazed when I see the breadth of universities that, because of the Case Center, whether it is Harvard, whether it is Stanford, MIT, Oxford, Cambridge, who are actually buying Amity case studies through the Case Center. So what platform you have provided to academicians around the world is unparalleled and gives us a great reach. We are grateful that you are here. Mr. Richard McCallum, the Group CEO of the UK India Business Council. We have, as a group, a huge commitment to the relationship between India and the UK. I think there may be no other Indian foundation which has, over the years, Dr. Singh would know the numbers, but I think tens of thousands of students have traveled between India and the United Kingdom both ways. Over the last many decades, we are very committed. So there are many other speakers, but Dr. Singh, please thank all of them on our behalf, on behalf of our founder, Dr. Chauhan. To all the researchers who will be presenting, congratulations for being selected. I know that the selection percentage for papers submitted to papers who are allowed to select is very small. Huge committee under Dr. Singh has vetted every paper. That the fact that you are being able to present at this conference in London will go a long way in your careers. I wish you all the best. Once again, Dr. Singh, Dr. Lumi, and to all the faculty who are organizing this, all the best. And to all our guests, we are truly indebted to you that you have taken out the time to be with us. Thank you so much, and all the best.
Thanks indeed. Your words of wisdom speaks volumes about Amity University, sir. And we feel so honored and humbled to be associated with the Amity family. Ladies and gentlemen, to grace the conference, we have amongst us Lord Karan Bilimoria, the Chancellor, University of Birmingham, and the founder of Cobra Bears. I may quickly take this honor to introduce you, Lord Bilimoria, who is the founder of Cobra Bears, chairman of Cobra Bear Partnership Limited. The Cobra Bear, which is one of the most prestigious quality awards in the world of beer. Lord Bilimoria is the founding chairman of the UK-India Business Council. He was the youngest university chancellor in UK when he was appointed. In 2006, Karan Bilimoria was appointed the Lord Bilimoria of Chelsea. In 2008, he was awarded the Parvasi Bharti Samman by the President of India. He qualified the chartered accountant with Ernst & Young and graduated in law from University of Cambridge. He's also an alumnus through executive education of the Cranfield School of Management, London Business School, and Harvard Business School. He was installed as the 7th Chancellor of University of Birmingham, making him the first Indian-born Chancellor of a Russell Group University in Great Britain. And he's the President of the UK Council for International Student Affairs. So the august gathering, may I have a huge round of applause, please? Over to you, Lord Bilimoria.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that very warm welcome, and it's a great pleasure to be with all of you here in London, in the heart of London, at Birkbeck College. I mean, in university now. I should call it. I always call it Birkbeck College, but it's actually Birkbeck University, as part of the University of London, right next to the Senate. And what a great institution this is. Any of you here students of Birkbeck at all, or alumni of Birkbeck? It is an outstanding, unique institution that paved the way for lifelong learning, adult education, and it provides an opportunity for anyone at any stage of their lives to embark on education. At the outset, I'd like to thank the Chancellor, Dr. Atul Chauhan. Thank you for your superb address, so clearly delivered, and for your very, very kind words of welcome. The Chauhan family, your father and yourself and your whole family, I have seen firsthand how you have promoted education, not just in India, but globally. To think that this is a 3-decade-old story. This is a story as the same age as Cobra Beer. Yeah. So I know what it's like to found something from scratch. It is really, really tough. It's against all the odds. And when you're doing that in India, when India just liberalized in 1991, before that India was a protected, closed economy and country. And when India liberalized, to then do this, to give this opportunity, which is now 16 countries and 200,000 students. I mean, it is incredible. And anyone who goes and sees the campus of Amity, the headquarters in Delhi, you cannot but be impressed. So to the Chauhan family, we owe a huge debt of gratitude to you, to Dr. Gurinder, a wonderful Vice Chancellor. You can see the enthusiasm, the passion that he has. From the time I've met him, I've hosted him in Parliament, and we met here, we met in India, and I can see it's non-stop dedication, passion, enthusiasm, which is absolutely fabulous. And thank you, Dr. Lamita Basu, the head of Amity here in the UK, and also to everyone present over here. Professor Mike Hinch, who's not here, but we've got Professor Vicky Lester, and we've just heard about Dr. Nick Bedford as well. This is brilliant. And we've got the new Chief Executive of the UK-India Business Council, which I was privileged to found. In fact, 20 years ago, 2003, I was asked by the British government to be the UK chair of the Indo-British Partnership, founded by Prime Ministers John Major and Narasimha Rao in 1993. So at the 10th anniversary, they said, look, UK-India trade is growing, but it should be growing much faster. We need to give this initiative a boost. So let's get an entrepreneur to be the UK co-chair, and let's get an entrepreneur of Indian origin. And who was my counterpart, my Indian co-chair at that time, was Narayan Murthy, the founder of Infosys. And when I met him in the Locarno room of the Foreign Office here at my official appointment, there was a big Indian delegation here, and he greeted me and we said hello to each other for the first time 20 years ago. And his first words to me, I have never met a bad Parsi. So I come from the Zoroastrian Parsi community, the smallest minority community in the world, just 100,000 of us. And I'm so proud of our tiny little community that has produced so many leaders, entrepreneurs in every field over the centuries. And of course, today, Freddie Mercury of Queen and the Tatars. And I could go on of the great Parsis, and I'm privileged to be a member of that small community. Fast forward, and in 2015, Narayan Murthy said to me, Karan, my son-in-law is going to become an MP. Will you please meet him? And we became friends, and that's Rishi Sunak. And in 2003, that same year, I was privileged to win the Asian of the Year award. And in my acceptance speech, I was presented by the then Home Secretary, David Blunkett, great man, who's now in the House of Lords with me, Lord Blunkett. And in my acceptance speech, I said, this is 20 years ago, in my lifetime, we will see an Asian as Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. And it took 2 decades, but it happened on Diwali Day last year. So this is wonderful. The way India is now just booming, not just in India, but on the global stage as well. And we have Lopa Patel here, who you're going to hear from, a dear friend. We've known each other for many, many years. And I've seen the way she has not just championed technology, but also women and promoting women and Asian women in a most amazing way and leading by example. She's on the board of the Science Museum and many other initiatives. We've just had an event in Parliament together where we were promoting the new festival that's going to be taking place to promote in Bradford in North England, the Science Museum's branch over there, which is unique and very linked to India as well. So this brings me to the UK-India relationship. And of course, many of you here are of Indian origin, and being here in London, and if I may say this, London, the greatest of the world's great cities. It is just such an amazing city. It's got everything to offer. And historically, it's been the greatest of the world's great cities. And today, it is the greatest of the world's great cities in spite of the weather. That's the only negative about this country. So make the most of your time over here. Make the most of experiencing London in its fullest and go beyond. The theme of this conference is case studies and research. And as Dr. Chauhan said, research is crucial. The great universities of this world, of course, are great for teaching, of course, are great for having the brightest students, but they're predominantly great for having the best research. And my alma mater, Cambridge University, has won more Nobel Prizes than any other university in the world. One college at Cambridge University, Trinity College, has won over 34 Nobel Prizes. One college, including my friend, Professor Venki, the Nobel Prize winner in chemistry, who is a fellow at Trinity College, Cambridge. So the power of that research is phenomenal. I'll go one step further. The power of cross-border research is amazing. And at Birmingham University, we're one of the top 100 universities in the world, and one of our main partnerships is with Amity University. We have a really close relationship, and that is based on students. We have a 1+2 system, which we have with Amity, where students in India can study in India and at Birmingham University. We don't do that with any other university in India. With others, it's 2+2. So that's how much we respect Amity. And I want this to go further. Why I led a delegation in February of Birmingham University to India. It was a very successful delegation. One of the highlights was visiting Amity. And on that delegation, we also signed a joint degree between Birmingham and IIT Madras. And that is in AI and data science. And again, that gives the opportunity for students in that master's degree to spend time enrolling in India, enrolling in the UK, and spending time at each other's campuses. That is the future. And with Amity, we're already doing that on an undergraduate basis. We're now going to be doing it on a master's basis. And I want to take it one step further. I want to do joint PhD programs as well. And I do hope that happens. And the proof of collaborative research, if I were to give you the figures, it is phenomenal. When a university does research on its own, and I'm just using rough figures, let's say Birmingham does research and our field weighted impact is 2.3, and we do research with another university in another country, and let's say their research field weighted impact is 1.7. When you do collaborative research, the combined is 5.2. Yeah. When we do Birmingham and Harvard, for example, we're 2.3, let's say they're 2.7, it's 5.5. So it's multiple when you do collaborative research together. And finally, about case studies. I'm very fortunate. I've studied, as you heard, and through executive education, I spent 16 years at the Harvard Business School, attending every year for 16 years. And I'm an alumnus there, and Harvard Business School case study method is world famous. And I tell you, there is no better way of learning than case studies. If you study case studies properly, where you get a case study, you study it on your own, you then study it with your study group in advance of the lecture. Then you go into the classroom and you study the case study. And if it's a great professor who's teaching you, he or she will extract the knowledge. They will not tell you, they will draw out the lessons of that case study. And if you're really lucky, the protagonist of the case study will be in the classroom to, at the end of it, to say, this is what actually happened. Ask me any questions and hear about it from the real person who experienced it. And then after that, this professor summarizes and draws out all the lessons. Then you go back to your study groups and you then discuss the lessons that you've learned from that study, from that case study. If you go through all the steps of that case study, believe you me, it is the most rigorous form of learning, including the Socratic method, in the world. And you're going to be benefiting from that here. And I now teach case studies as well. I'm going to be in Cambridge next week, I think, teaching the Cobra Beer case study. There's at Cambridge. And it's a joy to do that, to actually teach that case study about my own business. It's a wonderful way of learning. And finally, when it comes to entrepreneurship, there is one word that sums up entrepreneurs more than any other word. It's the word guts. How many of you want to start your own business one day? Can I just see a show of hands? Can I just see a show of hands? Fantastic. Thank you. How many of you will have the guts to do it? That's the thing. Many people have business ideas. Many people want to start their own business. How many of you will give up whatever opportunities you have, whatever jobs, to go and start your own business, and that too against all the odds, in the same way that Amity started against all the odds? My first company car was a 295-pound battered Citroën de Chevaux that needed push starting every day. I'm not exaggerating. If you're driving and you look down, you could see the road through the holes in the floor of the car. That is what I started. And my contemporaries from Cambridge were working from Goldman Sachs and driving in BMWs, earning huge amounts of money. I took that risk. So it takes guts to take that risk. But I'll take one step further. You also have the guts to stick with it when others would give up. And I've nearly lost my business 3 times. And it's a really tough journey, an entrepreneurial journey. The Amity journey has not been easy. If you get a chance to talk to the chancellor, to his father, to the family, they will tell you how tough it has been to get to where they are today. It is that guts to stick with it when others would give up that is also part of the entrepreneurial story. And finally, I'll conclude with these 2 things. The best lecture that I've ever been given in my life was given to me at my final lecture before I became an alumnus at Harvard Business School. And it was by Professor Clay Christensen. Have any of you heard of Professor Clay Christensen? Yes, the professors have heard. He's one of the greatest business school professors ever. Sadly, now the late Professor Clay Christensen. And he came into the lecture, it was my final lecture before I formally became an alumnus of Harvard Business School. And I wish I'd heard that lecture when I was at your age. And he came 6'8", giant of a man. And he said, I'm so sorry, this is my first lecture in many years because I've had cancer. I beat the cancer, then I got a stroke. And as you can see, the stroke hasn't affected my movements, but it's affected my brain. Sometimes when I speak, I cannot say the words that I want to say. If that happens in this lecture, he said to us, please can you shout out the words? It might save some time. And you know, we had to shout out the words many times. At the end of the lecture, he was in tears and we were in tears. And his message was very simple. He asked us, how many of you have actually stopped and thought, what is the purpose of my life? And I ask you, how many of you thought, what is the purpose of your life? It's a very individual question and an individual answer. And he said, linked to that, how will you measure your life? So I urge you to think about it. He's written a book about it called How to Measure Your Life. And read that book, because that is the most important thing is, what is the purpose of all this? So I wish you all the best. My favorite saying of Mahatma Gandhi's is, live as if you're going to die tomorrow. Learn as if you're going to live forever. So never stop learning. And the UK-India relationship is going to be absolutely huge. And I concluded my speech. I'm going to read this out to you in the House of Lords in January this year on a debate on the relationship between the United Kingdom and India. And I will just read out the last few words that I said. I said this. I said, to conclude, as a boy, Narendra Modi sold tea at his father's tea stall at a railway station in Gujarat. Today, he is one of the most powerful people on this planet as Prime Minister of India. Today, India has the presidency of the G20. Today, India has a vision to become, in the next 25 years, the second largest economy in the world with a GDP of $32 trillion. The Indian Express has left the station. It is now the fastest train in the world, the fastest growing major economy in the world. The UK must be its closest and most trusted friend and partner in the decades ahead. Thank you very much.
What a mesmerizing and inspiring talk indeed. It speaks volumes of how you have burnt your midnight oil with guts to achieve and reach at your pinnacle. All right. May I further request Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh to kindly felicitate Lord Bilimoria for his unique address.
Dr. Singh, may I add, Lord Bilimoria, what an inspirational speech you have given to our young people sitting in the audience. Mesmerizing. We are so grateful.
Thank you, Dr. Chauhan. Thank you, Chancellor. Thank you very much.
We thank you once again, Dr. Lord Bilimoria, to give us this honor to felicitate you on this occasion. Further, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce you to Ms. Vicky Lester, the CEO of the Case Center UK, to the audience who has been extremely instrumental in jointly developing teaching and learning cases to foster experiential learning for our students. Ms. Vicky Lester joined the Case Center in 1991 and has worked in many areas of business, including sales, operation, and systems. She was appointed Deputy Director in 2008 and worked alongside the previous director on planning and implementing the moderator at the conference, webinars, events around the world. She also enjoys reviewing and judging cases for a variety of case writing competitions. She is the editor-in-chief of the Case Center Journal, the Case Focus, the Journal of Business and Management Teaching Cases, Middle East and Africa edition. She holds a diploma in management studies from De Montfort University. She also completed the business growth program at Cranfield School of Management. May I take this opportunity to invite you, Ms. Vicky Lester, the CEO of the Case Center UK, for a polite address, please.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you ever so much for the lovely welcome, invite to join you all here today. It's truly a pleasure and honour, and truly inspiring just to be in the room with some inspiring individuals. So thank you ever so much for having us with you. Some of the key words that were coming to me over the weekend when I was thinking about this event, and even this morning from some speakers that have been up here, are passion, impact, and recognition. And I've even got written down here that you have to have passion in what you do. I'm completely passionate about the work we do at the Case Centre. We're the independent home of the case method, and I feel in our own way, we're contributing to the impact on the education of our future leaders, which many of you are sat in this room. And it's just inspiring, just hearing different points of view with the world of business education and the part that we play at the Case Centre within that. So it was just touched on a moment ago. I mean, the case method itself came out of Harvard Business School. They took it from Harvard Law School, and it recently celebrated its centennial. The Case Centre this year, we are celebrating our 50th anniversary. So we're halfway behind the overall anniversary of the case method. But one of the key elements of our work is recognition. Recognising the vital impact that's made in the classroom by case writers and case faculty. When they're writing a case study, they're taking all of that valuable research that's carried out, and an output of that is a teaching case study. And the reach that that case study can have around the world is remarkable. It has huge impact, and part of our role is to recognise that vital contribution. And we do that through many ways. We have annual awards and competitions. And as part of our 50th anniversary this year is going to, just wait. So as part of our 50th anniversary this year, we're launching a new impact index. Sorry, that was a bit distracting, the feedback. Apologies if you've got that online. So the idea of the impact index is that it will recognise and rank top 50 business schools based on the global reach and impact of their case writing. And this is being launched in November. So watch this space, as we're very excited to introduce that impact index coming. It's a huge thing, and we really want to recognise, as I've mentioned, that vital contribution as an output of all the valuable research that's being taken from business schools around the world. And Amity, the work we're doing with Amity, we are completely thrilled about, we're passionate about, because not only, thank you, not only are Amity writing great case studies about local businesses for local students to relate to, they're also writing international cases for international students. The classroom now is is huge, and students travel around the world to study, to learn different practices and how business is done in different parts of the world. Many of you put your hands up to be future entrepreneurs. You want to know what business is like in other parts of the world to be a successful entrepreneur. And through the case method, you can learn so much. And the case studies that Amity are writing will give you that impact and exposure to businesses around the world and different success stories, different failures. The idea of the case studies is to put you in the feet and shoes of the protagonist and say, right, we've got all of this information, what do we do next? So it's really bringing the real world into the classroom in your studies. And that's what we're passionate about at the Case Centre. That's what we're passionate about when we work with different business schools around the world. And the whole collaboration, business schools working with other business schools, is so powerful because it certainly helps everyone learn so much about different businesses, different cultures, and different ethics. It's truly inspiring, the work, the world that we're in, that we have that honour to connect business schools around the world and to share those case studies that have come from all of that valuable research. So thank you ever so much for having us here. Thank you. And just really to say, if there's anything that we can support you or your schools with to help you either introduce the case method or enhance what you're already doing when it comes to the case method and bringing those lessons into the classroom, then please don't hesitate to get in touch with us, because that's exactly what we're here for. So thank you again for having us. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Yep.
Dear students, it's a great opportunity to have Miss Vicky Lester over here, and who is the founding stone of UK Case Centre. And she has been instrumental in interdisciplinary collaborations and is here to assist you to go ahead further and put down beautiful cases for academic purpose. Now, may I take this moment to invite Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh to present a token of appreciation for memorable address to Miss Vicky Lester, please. Thank you very much. Please. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're not switch completely.
Ladies and gentlemen, further in our galaxy of influential speakers, we have amongst us Mr. Richard McCallum, Group CEO, UK India Business Council, UK. Richard is CEO of UK India Business Council. He's a graduate of University of Durham and Cambridge in International Relations. After university, he joined the John Swire and Sons Management Trainee Program based in Hong Kong and Pakistan. From 2007 until 2013, he was a founder director of Flying Fox, an adventure tourism company headquartered in Delhi. We hereby invite Mr. Richard McCallum for his address to the audience, please.
Too tall for the slide. Anyway. Yeah. Let's look it up. Let's look it up. Good, good. Yes, right. Thank you very much, Dr. Jahan, Dr. Lumi, Professor Singh. It's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I'm Dickie McCallum. I'm the Group CEO of UKIBC. We're a private not-for-profit, and we support British business in India and Indian business in the UK. And we work very closely with the High Commission and the British government, as well as the Indian government. When I was reflecting today on this subject of Indo-UK relations, education, and the FTA, I realized they are actually connected, but in ways you might not expect. Yes, of course, an FTA, a good innovation chapter, a digital chapter, a good mobility chapter will have an impact on student movement and on education partnerships. But that's not what I mean. I think there's more to it than that. And to illustrate that, I wanted to start off with a story, and then I'll try and tie up all the loose ends at the end with some reflections on education in the UK-India relationship. When I was 22, I left university and I didn't know what to do with myself. So I did the obvious thing and I went back to university. I left university again a year later and I still had no clue what to do. And I was pondering this problem at home, my parents' home, when I found a book that was written by a great uncle of mine, great uncle of mine, about a journey he'd done from Beijing to London in 1926. So I did what I thought was the obvious thing, and I got myself an old Land Rover, bought it off an underwater stuntman in Basingstoke, got some money from the Beano comic, so our car was black and red striped with Dennis the Menace on one side and Nasher on the other side, and set off with two friends to do this journey, driving from London to Beijing. And on that route, 26,000 kilometers, 5 months, I visited two places which I knew I had to go back and spend more time in. One was Hong Kong, the other was New Delhi. So I got myself a job in Hong Kong. I didn't really care what it was. And then I managed to get myself posted to New Delhi. Actually, they sent me to Pakistan first for a year, but then eventually I made it to India. That was 2005. And it's strange to reflect back on India in 2005. It was primarily a cash economy. Retail was primarily owner-staffed small shops. Much of Gurgaon, where I currently work in India, was fields. You saw a Mercedes once a week. There were 70 million mobile subscribers out of 1.1 billion people. In 2005, India was the 11th largest economy in the world. And I spent a lot of time since then trying to persuade businesses, trying to persuade people in the UK that the 21st century will be India-centric, and they need to engage in it. I think I'm wrong in the timing, because the Indian century has already arrived with this, an Indian decade. Anyone who's been to India recently will know what I'm talking about. You fly from gleaming airport to gleaming airport, you drive along huge 8-lane highways with billboards celebrating the G20 on the side. And the statistics underneath this are just amazing. 1.2 billion mobile phone users, 600 million smartphone users. We've gone from 74 to 140 airports in 2022. It's the third largest fintech sector in the world. It's the second largest employer of IT in the world behind the US. Last year, India overtook the UK to be the 5th largest economy in the world. And by the end of this decade, it'll be the 3rd largest economy in the world. And I'm particularly amazed by India's digital public infrastructure. You all know what the India Stack is, I think. It's the largest open API in the world. From zero back in 2005 to today, India's UPI does about 8 billion transactions a month, about 126 billion pounds a month. I can't remember a time recently when I've used cash in India. And these advances have made an enormous difference, not just to India and the sort of financial inclusion of people in India, but it's also something which India is now looking to export to help other countries in the region and around the world with. And I think there's a lot about India's digital public infrastructure program that we in the UK can learn from India. 10 years ago, my clients, British businesses, used to say things like India was too difficult, or too complicated, or too risky to invest in. Not anymore. Now India is a realistic partner for UK supply chains. I was in a factory last week in Lucknow. 95% of the high-end aerospace parts they make are exported, mostly to the UK. And this year, we're going to help, UKIBC will help something like our 700th client with their India entry or exploration journey. This hasn't always been the case. There's a huge amount of positivity and momentum in this relationship. And to me, the biggest positive is that Indian and UK companies now are moving well beyond a transactional to a collaborative mindset. Our clients understand that to have success in India, you've got to be co-creating and co-developing and making in India ideally for the world. That's true of defense, it's true of healthcare, it's true of sustainability. Technology collaboration is the future of this bilateral relationship. Now, what's the point of all this rambling from me? Well, I hope you can discern a few strands here, which I'll try and draw together. One, the UK needs to update its thinking about India, which I think is outdated. Things in India are moving very fast, and we all need an education about it and what it means, not just for us in the UK, but for the world. Two, the FTA is a great example, a great opportunity to do this. Our members are quietly optimistic about an FTA this year. Could the FTA have been done sooner? Perhaps, but it's more important that we get this right than we rush into a deal. But either way, the FTA is a brilliant opportunity to renew interest and engagement between the UK and India. Three, I talked about technology collaboration being the future of this relationship. For that to thrive, we need far, far more and far deeper academic partnerships between the two countries. We need academia to corporate partnerships. We need UK universities working with Indian ones, Indian universities working with British companies working with Indian universities. And my organization is currently supporting about 17 UK universities in India, helping them forge new partnerships. And fourth and finally, it's absolutely vital that we keep the flow of students moving between India and the UK. Since it was reinstated in 2019 and then came into effect in 2021, the number of Indian students coming to the UK has grown from a very low point of 19,000 something to about 84,000 in 2020, 2021. That's brilliant, but now we need to really encourage more young people from the UK to go to India. It's currently a trickle, and we need a flood of these people. Visiting India was absolutely critical to my education, to my life. It changed my life, and I believe more people should have that opportunity. I don't think any education is complete without studying in India. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Richard McCallum. And your talk speaks volumes about how you have been fostering the Indo-UK bilateral relations, which are able to benefit the students and cross-border relationships. Moving ahead, gone are the days when glass ceiling was a barrier to the career ladder. Time and again, our esteemed speaker, Ms. Lopa Patel, MBE, CEO, non-executive chair, NED, and trustee. CW Most Influential Woman in UK Tech 2022, London, has rewritten her story of success. May I request the August gathering to please give us a huge round of applause.
I've got the opposite problem now. Whereas Richard was too tall, I'm too small. It is absolutely wonderful to be here with you. I did have some prepared notes, but I'm not going to use those. Because actually what I'm really excited to see all of you, the students here. So I'm going to throw it open and ask you to think of a question that you would like to ask me. But why am I speaking today? Well, thank you to Dr. Chauhan and to Dr. Singh and to all the faculty at the Amity University for inviting me. And the real reason I accepted was because Amity does things differently. And I really think my whole life has been about doing things differently. My background is I'm one of 4 children. My parents are from Gujarat in India, but we came via Kenya in Africa. So we are sort of 2nd generation Indians. But within that family construct, which you will know, it's a very traditional family, Gujarati family, nobody had been to university. So my sister and I were the first to go to university, and we were encouraged to study whatever we wanted. You know, as long as it's medicine, dentistry, pharmacy, you know, the typical, and neither of my sister or I were interested in that. So I went to do computer science, and then I graduated from Manchester University with a bachelor's in biochemistry. How I ended up doing something that I'm doing today, I really don't know, but I think I can put it down to doing things differently. And you guys, when you enter the jobs market, you are going to have to do things differently, because we are facing huge global challenges. Poverty is one, you know about the Sustainable Development Goals, but environment, climate, you know, all of those, you are going to have to find some of the solutions for those global challenges. And I think the fact you've chosen to study at Amity, the fact that you're here today in the UK speaks volumes about how fantastic you all are. And what I would encourage you to do is to use what the UK ecosystem can give you. Well, what can the UK ecosystem give you? Well, the reason I was a little bit late coming today, and I do apologize for that, is because I was at an accelerator in central London. This is a tech accelerator. And just as I was leaving, a friend of mine came up. She is a young lady whose background is in artificial intelligence. And she's using her skills with satellite imaging, to create a business to help wine growers grow better vines. And she said to me, Lopa, I need your help. I need to get in touch with a satellite company, and I want to get in touch with a winemaker in India. And I unfortunately don't have an answer to any of those 2 questions. If any of you know any answers to those questions, please do let me know. But it is interesting that that kind of business is happening in an accelerator in London. And I would say, particularly in the UK, not just London, other cities in the UK have a lot of opportunities. So for those of you who are studying at the moment, not really sure what you want to go on to do, think about using up the facilities that accelerators offer you. Try an idea. It doesn't have to be a business. It can just be to solve a problem that you're particularly worried about. So I'm going to stop talking there and see if there are any questions. Are there any questions? Over to you, audience. They've all gone to sleep. Either that or I've terrified them into silence. Okay, I'm going to leave you with one thought. Lord Billimore has shared quite a lot of his favorite quotes, and I have got one. But before I come to that quote, let me just come to what is it that I am struggling with in the tech sector. Well, firstly, women founders, we struggle. We really struggled. And the only way we can succeed is to do things differently. And I know that my sisters and fellow women in India have the same problem. So I challenge all of you to open your minds and think about the women in your life differently, whether that's your sister, your mother, your auntie, your daughter, whatever that is. Think about women differently and make sure that they have the same opportunities that you've got. And by that, I mean, you know, trusting in their idea, not saying, oh, that's a silly idea, go away, or not saying that, oh, you know, too busy, you have to go and do your chores or whatever it is. Don't belittle the women in your life. It's very important that you use your power to bring up, because I think unless India can bring up its 50% of the population alongside its ambitions, it doesn't matter what free trade agreement we've got, it doesn't matter what opportunities there are, we will have failed at the most fundamental thing, which is about being a human being and valuing each person's insight equally. Which brings me to this quote, and I challenge you to tell me who this quote is by. It's the quote I have it on the wall behind me because all entrepreneurs take from this. And the quote is, first they laugh at you, then they ignore you, then they fight you, and then you win. Does anybody know who that's by? It's from the great Mahatma Gandhi. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Ms. Lopa Patel. And this speaks about your passion, and I'm sure our students are inspired by your passion, and they should appreciate their value systems and understand the importance of doing things differently. Thank you once again, Ms. Lopa Patel. May I take this moment now to please introduce my audience to Professor Nick Bedford, who is a British academician and former Vice Chancellor of University of Northampton. Previously, he was a Pro-Vice Chancellor at Bournemouth University and before the Professor of Earth and Planetary Sciences at Kingston University. He has also worked for BP on an academic and commercial research projects throughout the world. As an academic, he is known for his expertise in magmatic systems and volcanology. His publicly available Google Scholar Nick Bedford account records over 200 journal articles, pieces of journalism, published abstracts, book chapters in his kitty. He is a Deputy Lieutenant for Nottinghamshire and in 2021 was granted freedom of the City of London. May I request my audience to welcome him on the stage, please.
Well, good afternoon. Is it afternoon yet? Just yes. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for inviting me here today, Amity. I've got a few words to say. I'm not Facebooking like some of you. This is my speech on my phone, right? So bear with me. I just wanted to thank everybody for the opportunity to speak to you. And I was asked to talk very briefly on internationalization of higher education and partnership opportunities in research. And that's a massive topic. And I've got about 3 minutes, right? So I'm only going to be able to address a tiny part of that question. But thank you for inviting me to say something about it. And I wanted to start away from the UK. I wanted to start in Australia, because this is about international partnerships. And although the UK and India have a fantastic relationship, India is perfectly entitled to have relationships with other countries around the world. And I think the Australian example is an interesting one. The Education Minister in Australia has been engaged with his Indian counterpart on the need to develop Indo-Australia partnerships in education, highlighting the 160% jump in students going from India to Australia. That's a huge, I mean, often in the UK and Australia, we've relied perhaps too much on Chinese students. Don't quote me on that, right? But I think the opportunity for Indian students across the Asian countries into the Indo-Pacific, etc., is really, really important. Okay. Another example, India has now started to liberalize its higher education environment. So 2 Australian universities, Deakin and Wollongong, are going to set up campuses, as I understand, Professor Singh, in India, which is exceptional. And that, to me, is signaling the fact that India is really interested in broadening its global international footprint in higher education, which is something that we would all welcome. So congratulations to India on that. What about here in the UK? Well, there's some good news, more good news. There's a poll recently done by Universities UK. And this will be of interest to all of you, I'm sure, which shows that majority of those people, British citizens who may never have been to university, they were asked the question, what do you think about international students? Should they be coming? Guess what? Over 64, nearly 3/4 believe the UK should host the same or more international students here, which is really encouraging news to hear. The majority of them recognizing that international students give more to the economy than they take out, and that British diplomacy or soft power benefits from international students who leave this country with positive images, not just this country, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, wherever they leave, India to the UK, it's vital that we treat people with dignity and respect when they're here studying and learning. Now this is great, but it raises, I think, one particular issue that was emerging across the world actually in higher education, which is employability skills. Employability skills. And what does that mean? Well, I can see personally the need for new educational partnership models. Lord Billy Moria talked about 1+1, 2+1s. They've been around for a long time. What do we need to be doing in future to ensure employability skills are embedded across the curriculum? The employability needs of international students returning home to embark on their careers. Could a university provide ongoing employability service through bespoke online training as part of a service level agreement that extends beyond the warranty, beyond the residency of the student here in the UK? So if you guys go back to India, what about this? A university provides you with like a lifetime guarantee, a lifetime careers warranty, that when you need service and help, you go back to your alma mater and we provide you with training, top-ups, little bespoke bits of learning and teaching that can allow you to progress your career in the way that you would like to. And I think that's a model, hasn't really been developed yet, but I'd like to see more of that taking place in the UK. Finally, what about research? Oh, finally, I should say, in a world where generative artificial intelligence, ChatGPT, they can write your essay for you in 5 seconds, right? What does that mean for knowledge? For the traditional teacher? Well, it means an awful lot. It means that knowledge delivered in that sense is no longer the commodity. It's the successful application of that knowledge in the workplace or wherever you want to do. William already said as a startup, that's where the value is, not just learning stuff, because an AI can do that for you and tell you on your mobile phone, right? So universities are behind the curve. They need to wake up and think about how they can introduce their employability skills around a world where generative AI is taking over. Finally, what about research? In the UK government recently signed a partnership, something very long-winded and hard to say, comprehensive and progressive agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue, does it? It's called the CPTPP. But that's interesting because this Indo-Pacific region is expected to become home of half of the world's 2.3 billion middle-class consumers. By 2030, it's huge. And despite some negative comments about this from certain sections of the political community who are still upset about Brexit, I think the CPTPP should the global economy looks to outpace the EU's in the coming decades. Dozens of universities are part of that makeup, and the UK needs, right, to take advantage of those university partnerships within that much larger group. One thing we could work on together is to do with climate change. Not necessarily climate change itself, because the climate is changing, but how we mitigate. What research do we need to do now, not tomorrow, to make people's lives, to safeguard individuals who are at risk of climate change, right? No more of the fact it's going to heat up. Yes, we know that. What are we going to do about it, other than protesting in the streets? There are things that universities can do and should be doing right now across the world, but it won't happen with just 1 or 2 universities. We need to come together as a community of universities. But I would say more than a community of universities, I like to call these academic superclusters of universities. And in the same way that galaxies in space are superclusters, they're bound together by gravity. What would bind a supercluster, a global supercluster of universities together, would be their shared values, which are fundamental to the way that we treat people. Thank you very much.
This was Professor Petford, and many of you who are very young and who are sitting here, I just wanted to recognize his presence. He's one of the most respected academicians and a person who has contributed so much in the field of academics. We say that when friends meet, history is created. So for long years, for 15 years, he was vice chancellors of various universities. And when we were establishing our university in London and in other parts of the world, in Singapore, in Africa, in Mauritius, he was the one who has traveled in almost from UK. He used to go to US. He used to come to Dubai. He has been to Singapore. He has been to our Mauritius campus. And every year when we were organizing our largest international conference in India, year after year, he was here. So this time when we were thinking to give 2 lifetime achievement awards, we thought of giving it to most distinguished persons. So from UK, we decided that we are going to confer it to our friend and a person who has helped MIT so much, Professor Nick Bedford. Give a huge applause for him.
Just very briefly, I don't want to hog. So yeah, so 15 years, it's a long time to be working with amateur universities. So I've been a vice chancellor for 12 years. And when I went out to see the family, we met with Gurinder Singh, we met with the brothers, the founder. I was really impressed by the sort of family atmosphere, and the growth of Amity has been exceptional. Okay, started off, as I say, with a few hundred students, now 200,000 around the world. That's an exceptional growth story and growth trajectory. And it's all down to the hard work and the skills and the dedication of Professor Singh and his colleagues at Amity, who have made it such a success story. Proud to be part of the family of Amity, and good luck, best wishes for the future. Thank you.
And Professor Bedford has not only contributed into the institutional building. Every time he used to come to India, he used to participate in our cultural evenings. And one thing which was amazing was that we created a special fund for the underprivileged children. And Professor Bedford was the first one who said that I will walk on the ramp. So he, along with some of the leading models of UK and of India, they walked on a ramp and they created 2 companies, and the students created 2 companies. So that was a contribution. And that's the reason that we have invited him specially for this conference and helping us for longer. Thank you very much.
Amity take this honor to felicitate Professor Nick Bedford with a small token of appreciation with Amity Academic Excellence Award, please.
Thank you, Lulu. Glad to see you here.
I'll take it.
Barbara, you can come in. Yeah, you come in. Barbara is a young leader.
Thank you so much once again. Moving ahead, we appreciate the patience of Professor Kiran Trehan, which we could see is here online with us. And she is the Pro Vice Chancellor Partnership and Engagement from University of York, UK. The pool of researchers and academicians feel highly indebted and enriched to hear from you, Professor Kiran Trehan. We welcome you once again with a huge round of applause, please. Over to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon and a warm welcome, everybody, and a huge thank you for the invitation to contribute. I want to start with a quote and follow on this theme of stories. I am a kid who grew up in India and came to the UK when I was 6 years old, the daughter of a first-generation migrant who was told nothing would ever become of her. So I was really struck by the words of Dr. Gurinder Singh this morning and the Vice-Chancellor at Amity, and then also Karen Billamora. This notion of dreams, passion, resilience, hard work and aspiration. Because never have those words been more important than they are today at this historical event. And so today I want to talk about the importance of partnerships and engagement in a global context. And in doing so, I want to say something about this collective spirit that we've heard so much about, a common shared purpose, something about values of the next generation of young people. The words of a Leonard Cohen song resonate very strongly with me. There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. And today we've been talking about both hope and aspiration, but also about the cracks in the system, about the imperfections, this thing about resilience and historical journeys. But in doing that, I think it's really important to go back to our historical roots, because what's distinctive for me about this historical conference is not simply about global research or education. It's about our partnership strategy. It's how we engage. It's how we capture the hearts, the imagination, and the passion of putting that research into effective York. And so I want to start with the first line of our university strategy. And the University of York exists for public good. I want to then reflect on how we bring that commitment to public good to life through our research, through our teaching, through our engagement, and our work with others. It's what I call our instinct for engagement, our instinct for partnerships. And last, I want to set out why partnerships and the work we're doing in India is too a reflection of that commitment to public good and that instinct for partnership. So like many of you around the room, and particularly Amity, the University of York is part of an eminent Russell Group, a university that firmly stands in the top 20 in all of the UK rankings. And last year it was ranked 10th in the UK for its quality of research. But actually, it's not the ranking that's important or matters. It's the commitment to excellence that we've heard all of the speakers talk about. And I think our institutions have a strong overlap, particularly with our values and Amity's values. So let me say a little bit more about our values at the University of York. And it's something that Kalamira Bora and also, Dr. Gominda Singh, that you articulated so passionately at the opening of your address. Our university, like Amity, was founded, back in the 1960s. But the University of York was the product of a civic campaign. Its founders were a group of civic leaders based in York City government, in major local businesses, and in cultural institutions. That cluster in our cities, in York, where it has an extraordinary history and heritage. So history and heritage is really important in relation to innovation. Those founders, just like Amity, set out quite explicitly not to produce an identity kit university that mirrored those that others had founded in the 1960s. They had in mind, and I quote, a rather imaginative scheme, rather different from that of many other universities established, and that was to give access, equal access to everyone to the right of an education. So I'm really struck when I look at the word Amity, because Amity is a world leader, but the name Amity comes from the Latin word for friend, amicus, and is used especially for relationships between leaders and nations in which goodwill is shown, despite differences that might exist between the two parties. And so never have the two institutions been so powerful in its values and its mission. Mission for public good, like York, like Amity, like we've heard from all of our speakers, is really about human life and well-being. Amity, through the Humanity Foundation, supports initiatives around social welfare activities and creates possibilities for equitable social development. We've heard the importance of digital, of artificial intelligence, but alongside that also sits our commitment to the social sciences, to arts and humanity, something that Amity and through its foundation has led some incredible work. Like York, Amity has a long and fantastic community standing in terms of engagement projects centred around caring for underprivileged girls and empowering women in rural areas with skills and confidence building. These are the moments that education and research lets the light shine in. And so when we think about opportunities, not just for the generation that stands in front of us, but for generations to come, then honouring that commitment of social betterment, the admiration of human life and conditions, those powerful statements of purpose. Our universities are not ivory towers. Our task is to bring positive impact to our society, as we've seen throughout the morning. So in summary, you might say that the admiration of human life and conditions is our purpose. That's why those moment in time opportunities, but that requires humility as being part of our method. The values that underline that purpose and method were crafted in the 1960s at the University of York, and like Amity, are timeless. They are just as relevant and important today, now, as they were then. So to summarise, today, in a simple phrase, the university exists for public good. Let me say what I mean about purpose and method in the pursuit of public good. We have three rather more conventional headings, which we've been talking about all morning: research, teaching, and partnerships. Universities like York and Amity carry out research to discover new, socially useful knowledge, but enterprise and entrepreneurialism is at the heart of what we do. Our School of Business and Public Policy and Society has put enterprise at the heart of its endeavour, an entrepreneurial university that wants to develop the entrepreneurs of the future as careers of choices, not in the family that I grew up, which was part of economic necessity. So as we steer that knowledge pathway, that innovation, that imagination, we need to think about the economic applications through products based on ideas and technologies devised through our research policy of applications, which provide services for citizens, shape economic activity, but also set out industry standards, and creative applications which will enrich our cultural life. But now I'll finally turn to our third way of combining purpose and method, and that's partnerships. Collaborations for a purpose with a purpose. Universities convene, connect, and attract. They bring together people and organisations like no other. They anchor relationships between public and private sectors in places that they are based, and they cluster economic activity around innovation that emerges from research and the talent of our graduates. So I suppose I am saying today, this is historical because partnership is our superpower. I'm a firm believer that if our expertise and ambitions overlap with those of other organisations, with industry, with business, with public services, with small and medium-sized enterprises, we can achieve much more together than we can acting individually. It is in that way in which we can really harness the impact of our research and of our graduates for public good. So in summary, partnerships are the lifeblood and bring vitality. Amity has a dynamic research and higher education programme and sector. And we, together as universities worldwide, ultimately want to develop that vitality and dynamism that feeds the demographic boom of young people in the UK and in India. Young people are the lifeblood of every institution in higher education. They are the next generation of students who will be the leaders of tomorrow. And a subset of those will go on to become the academics, the professors, the vice chancellors of the future. So, but for now, and this is my final word, most fundamentally, we have much to gain from bringing together that spirit of humility, that spirit of collaboration. I spoke about earlier those differences of background, experience and perspectives, but these will be the foundations of new knowledge, that human life are conditions that will underpin that commitment to one earth, one family, one future. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Train. And your talk was very instrumental in reinforcing the amity ties with your university. And some of the key takeaways from your talk were bounded to the social entrepreneurial endeavors, with how with humility we can build our society, how with the cluster of universities can move ahead on a career ladder, growth with further collaborations. Thank you so much once again, Professor Train. Further, let's go ahead with taking this moment to confer upon the MIT Excellence, Academic Excellence Award to Professor Sabu S. Padmadas, who is Associate Dean International, Faculty of Social Sciences, University of Southampton, UK. May I hereby invite Professor Sabu Padmadas on the stage, please. All right. May I request Professor Padmadas? Okay. May I also request Professor Simon S. Smith, who is the Principal Lecturer in Business Management and Enterprise from Oxford Brookes University, UK. Amity, take this honor to welcome you and felicitate you with Amity Academic Excellence Awards, Professor Simon. We also now further request the Professor Sabu to give a quick acceptance. All right. Further, may I please invite Dr. S.K. Jain for having the awards from MIT University.
Before we give award to Dr. Jain, who is specially flying from India and one of the most sought of doctors in India, we will also tell you that how he is playing music. So how he entertains the patients first, and then he takes them for a surgery.
That mean we're going?
Yeah.
I request Professor Padmandas to please give a small welcome acceptance note, please.
Yeah, and can I request Professor Vicky Lester and our very distinguished guest to please come on the stage, join us, please.
May I further request to kindly present the awards so that the MIT University can felicitate Ms. Vicky Lester. Further, may I request the felicitation award for Ms. Lopa Patel. Ms. Lopa Patel has been felicitated for MIT Corporate Excellence Award. May I have a huge round of applause from the audience, please?
He's inspiration for all of you, especially young girls who want to become an entrepreneur. Give a huge applause to her. For this call.
Further, may I request
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Indeed, MIT take this honor to award Mr. Richard McCallum with MIT Global Award for fostering Indo-UK bilateral relationships. Thank you so much, all the esteemed speakers, to help us felicitating the galaxy of vivid academicians and learned professors. Thank you once again to all of you. Professor Sabu, thank you so much. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much indeed. A very good afternoon to all of you. I'm going to take only about 2 minutes, because not more than 2 or 3 minutes maximum, because I know that you are craving for something that we all crave for, that is food, right? It's the lunchtime. So I'll keep my the speech very short. First of all, my gratitude and my heartfelt thanks to Amity University, particularly Dr. Gurinder Singh and Dr. Chauhan for inviting me to this one. And also I'm humbled and honored and privileged by this kind gesture, the award. But I think just to really reflect quickly, I'm going to give you one message that you can actually take home as a food for thought. And that food for thought is that as we talk about India, there's one important thing that you need to mention. I'm really covering something which my counterparts have not really covered. That's actually the dividend, the actual dividend. You have exactly 35 years in front of you, because we have seen these economic transitions across the world. And some of these economic transitions that we talk about, the economic boom that we talk about, that can be transient. So for India, the clock has already started, and you will have the next 35 years. And I'm really addressing you students. When I see you, I'm really inspired, because why? You are the leaders for tomorrow, right? So that, I think that is an important message. And these 35 years can actually disappear very quickly. And it may disappear because unless we take the right steps. And that's where we heard from our colleagues about how important it is to really upskill yourself. Learn, relearn, and unlearn is very, very important, because it's not just about jobs, because you might be put off by these statements that artificial intelligence is going to kill us. No, it is not. Artificial intelligence, there is natural intelligence that we need to really leverage. There is quite a lot of mankind has only used less than 5% of their potential. So when you have a chat GPT, whatever, there are probably millions of jobs around that. So that you should not really be. The only thing is that, as Lord Blemuria mentioned in this opening address, when you take that idea, one idea, make sure that you stick to it. Whatever, I mean, there may be forces of nature that will come against you, and people will threaten that, well, the machines are going to take over you guys, but it is not. If there is machine learning, there is human learning is just in the first step. So there is plenty of opportunities for you to really understand and leverage the opportunities, particularly for entrepreneurship. We have, ma'am represented here today, I mean, as one of the, examples of leadership and entrepreneurship and so on. So please do not underestimate yourself. Amity, final word on Amity is that, before that, one important thing to take home is that keep your mind open, in the sense that always think, always do. I mean, the ideas don't really come naturally. Ideas come through observation. Through participation in these meetings, ideas flourish. Ideas convert into imaginations. When you have imaginations, you know what to do, because that's all part of the learning. And therefore, research that we talk about is fundamentally important. Please, my request, my humble request to all of you, the next generation leaders, is that whether you are really going to get a job or whether you become a CEO, that's not the point. The point is about keep your mind open and undertake that research, cultivate the researcher in you, and that will take you wherever you want. You may probably set up a new startup in Mars. That will be possible. Finally, one quick word about Amity. I think at the University of Southampton, we are one of the top 100 universities in the world. There are significant innovations in our university, and we are always, honored and humbled and happy to be partnering with Amity University. And I must also, if I take the last 20 seconds of my speech, I think an important thing is that we receive students from Amity. 2 of the students from Amity University actually contributed to what is known as a virtual internship program. It was actually named after a very famous poet called Kaifi Asmi, the father of Shabana Asmi, the leading Bollywood star. But we did work with them on real life projects looking at women's entrepreneurship. And there were 2 important live projects that the students contributed, and that made significant impact on women's earnings. I think we could see that the earning potential sort of changing from 3,000 rupees to 9,000 rupees and 14,000 rupees per month for a woman, and that is the difference that you need to create. So my point is that, well, please, as women, do not underestimate yourself. I think you have the wonderful potential, and you need to contribute. You need to contribute and serve the society. You need to give back your education to the society where you come from. On that note, on this particular thing, the students from Amity, one of the students, I think, did phenomenally well. They created an e-commerce platform for the NGO that we were working with, Mijwa Welfare Society, together with their Indian counterparts. And the project was presented at the McKinsey regional competition, and it won the award. And then it was actually the competition went further to the global one. Guess what? Amity University was one of the recipients of the global award at McKinsey. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Sabu. It was full with spark, inspiration, and I'm sure it would be inspiring our students to go ahead with such an opportunity with different universities. May I further, without ado, call upon Professor Simon S. Smith, and thank you so much for your patience, please.
Hello, good afternoon. Well, I am a born educator, so I have a pair of lungs that I can use when I can speak. Hopefully to wake you up a little bit, to kind of be, save the best for last, of course, in terms of being able to enlighten what we talk about. A few things I want to say is an obvious thank you to Amity University. You have been an amazing source of life for me in the past 5 years. When I think about when I first met Professor Annapama Rajesh, who is online, I know she's online, and how our relationship began from a random email that I sent to a dear friend of mine who works in the UK. Who can I speak to? I need to speak to somebody in India, somebody who is reliable and who I can trust. This was the first person I spoke to. It was the last person I spoke to because I work constantly all the time with Anna Pamut. She is an amazing source of inspiration. A few things to connect from other speeches. Being different, hopefully it comes across that I'm a little bit different. Also, I would add the words failure. I am a complete failure. Many times in my life, a complete failure. I failed a lot in education early on, and I really had to find my way through life. Success has come for me, not through natural born intelligence or anything like this, as my wife constantly reminds me that I really lack intelligence. It comes from hard graft, hard work, never giving up, and just having a really irritating sort of personality defect to carry on regardless of what is happening around the world. That's one message. Another message is the Sustainable Development Goals. I am a massive academic that works towards action for the Sustainable Development Goals, not just talking about it, but actually doing something about it. And that is not what I am trained in. I am trained in business. I am trained to profit maximize. That is my training, because that is the older educational system. It has come to my apparent need to change massively. So therefore, I really push it out to the entrepreneurs of the future to say, please find the solutions and the actions towards achieving the Sustainable Development Goals, because we need it. This is why I love being an educator, to try and inspire and push those that are next in line towards making those achievements that we've been so sort of short in achieving so far. And I think many conversations around globalization, internationalization have really brought to life the need to do this beyond such a small scale. The last thing I want to say is about the ability to work with Amity. I think one of the reasons I get on so well, and this came from somebody else's speech as well, is the sort of that natural entrepreneurial ability. It was the guts and things like this. And what we have, though, I think is, I work a lot in paradox. I'm a paradox theorist. I embrace paradox, which means complexity, ambiguity, and things like this. The UK is not renowned for dealing well with such concepts, but I feel I am, and I try to train others to do the same. Amity, very much like-minded, an ability to get through and do things regardless of what is happening. That's why I work so well with Amity University. It's why I want to continue to work with them, to have that two-way relationship of true inspiration and action on top of it. That's me done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor Simon, for sparking our students and waking them up and being so truthful and honest in your speech. I'm delighted to hear from you. Further, I see that we have a galaxy of vivid, learned academicians over here online as well from Japan. I call upon Professor Yoshinobu Tamura from Tokyo City University, Japan, and Amity hereby felicitates him from Amity Academic Excellence Award. But first, we would like to hear from you, Professor Yoshinobu Tamura. We have been following your researches. We understand by the virtue of Professor P.K. Kapoor, it was an absolutely honor to connect to you on this platform. So over to you, Professor Tamura.
Okay, and thank you very much for the introduction. Thank you very much for the invitation to the inaugural session at the 4th International Conference on Intelligent Engineering and Management. And moreover, I am very honored to receive the Amity.
To hear to you, Professor Tamura.
Okay. Okay, so can you see? Okay, I am very honored to receive the Amity Academic Excellence Award our research group in Japan with Professor Shigeru Yamada have made a research activity with Professor P.K. Kapur, Professor Shunil Kumar Khatri, and Associate Professor Adrash Anand in India over 10 years ago. Also, we have made several joint research with Professor P.K. Kapur and Associate Professor Adrash Anand in India. Moreover, we have attended to many IEEE international conference on reliability infocom technologies and optimization held at Amity University in India. I greatly appreciate the support of Professor P.K. Kapur and Professor Shunil Kumar Khatri in Amity University. I hope to work with professors in Amity University in the future. Finally, thank you very much for the continued support of Amity University again. Thank you very much.
Amity hereby. Thank you so much, Professor Tamura. And we understand your area of research, and we highly appreciate and feel honored to have you here on this platform with us. Amity would like to take this honor to felicitate you with Amity Academic Excellence Award, Professor Tamura. Thank you so much once again. Ladies and gentlemen, Amity University understands that the research, deliberation, and academics is instrumental in making the world a better place to live. Therefore, they value the stakeholders from academia. I take this moment to welcome Professor Sumitra Datta, Peter Morse, Dean, CET Business School, University of Oxford, UK. May I request the august gathering to welcome Professor Sumitra Datta with a huge round of applause, please.
A very good afternoon to everyone. I'm sorry that I'm unable to join you in person in London. I'm speaking to you from my office in Oxford, and I'm delighted to be invited to be part of this conference on intelligent engineering and management organized by Amity. I see many of my good friends, including Dr. Gurinder Singh and many others, I'm sure, in the audience. So a very warm welcome to all my friends from Amity. I've had a long history of collaboration with Amity over the years, and I've been very impressed seeing how successfully Amity has grown from what I would say is an educational startup university in India now to a truly global, innovative university spreading across multiple continents. Now, in my brief remarks, I just wanted to address some comments around intelligent, around sort of what is happening in the world and technology around us, and how we can look at the future. It's hard to come to a conference on education today without hearing the word ChatGPT, and I heard it also in the few minutes that I was online before my speaking slot. And in fact, it is true that even at Oxford, we are thinking very seriously about ChatGPT and what it means for education. Now, one small fact that many of you may not know about me is that I started out my education as a computer scientist. So even though I'm in a business school dean, my undergraduate, my PhD work was in computer science at Berkeley. And in computer science, actually, my PhD thesis was in artificial intelligence. So I have been sort of researching, observing, dabbling in that field for many years. And what I must say is that if you talk to any researcher in AI, they will tell you that they have been just simply amazed by what has happened in the last few years. And I emphasize it because AI was a field that was always there since the start of modern computing in the 1950s, but never really achieved the potential or the expectations, met the expectation that people had from it. And it's only in the last 6-7 years that we are seeing dramatic progress happen, and progress happen at a rate at which few people expected it to actually happen at that rate. Now, what has changed, of course, to drive it are a couple of things. Of course, first of all, there's much more computation power, much more data available. So that's a huge, huge plus. Computation today, by Moore's law, was doubling every 18 months. Today, most people expect is doubling at every 12 months. And the future forecast is that as quantum computing goes online, in about 5-10 years, it'll double every few months, maybe 2-3 months, and it's hard to say, maybe even every few weeks. So we are seeing a dramatic rise in computation available. At the same time, there has been some new technologies that have been created, especially in terms of how language is treated inside AI. When I did AI in my own graduate studies in late 80s, the way we treated language is very much similar to how human beings treated language. You give a sentence in one language, let's say John loves Mary. A human being understands the meaning of that sentence, John loves Mary, and then, of course, captures that meaning to reason about it or to translate another language like French, for example. But systems today, basically, that are operating in AI, including ChatGPT, don't actually understand anything. In fact, all attempts at trying to understand language never left or never yielded any good results. And simply trying to capture all the common sense knowledge that people had proved to be too difficult for computers. So about 6-7 years ago, there was a new method to deal with language created, which really, in very simple terms, I'm simplifying dramatically, is a question of looking at the context in which a word appears. So take every single word and look at the word before and after, look at 2 words before, look at 2 words after, look at 3 words before, look at 3 words after, and compute a whole bunch of statistical correlations in the context of every word across millions of sentences, billions of sentences across millions of documents around the world. And those kind of statistical correlations are really at the heart of a lot of these kinds of new language models around Google Translate, for example. If you use Google Translate has improved dramatically in the last few years, but it doesn't actually understand anything of what you're actually putting out there for translation. Now, ChatGPT, of course, is the most visible, let's say, most well-known brand, let's say, in the generative AI applications that are popular today. But useful to just look at the timeline out here and look at the complexity of ChatGPT or GPT systems. The ChatGPT is based on the underlying GPT systems, which have been created by the consortium OpenAI. The first GPT system was created in 2018. Okay, so only about 5 years ago. It had about 117 million parameters. Think of parameters as weights in some kind of a complex architecture of neural networks that the system actually manipulates. Now, the next GPT, GPT-2, was released about a year later on 14 February 2019, and it had 1.5 billion parameters. Okay. So we went from 117 million to 1.5 billion parameters in about 12 months. Now, GPT-3 was released in 11th June 2020. So again, less than 1 year later, and the number of parameters rose to 175 billion. So GPT-2, let me remind you, was 1.5 billion. GPT-3 was 175 billion. So 100 times increase in less than 1 year. Now, GPT-4, released in 14 March 2023, has about 1 trillion parameters. Okay, the exact number of parameters is not disclosed, but most people estimate it to be about between 1 trillion to 10 trillion parameters. Now, if you look at the progress that is happening out here, just in terms of complexity, is phenomenal. And what is very important, the reason I actually identified the timeline and the complexity is just to appreciate the speed at which things are moving. Now, what will GPT 5, 6, 7 look like in 5 years' time, it is very hard to predict. But at the same time, keep in mind that the human brain, if you just think in terms of synaptic junction as a proxy for complexity, the human brain has roughly between approximately 50 to 100 trillion synaptic junctions. So you're looking at a complexity difference between current GPT systems and the human brain of being approximately 10 to 100 times. Now, seeing the progress that is happening and computation that is increasing, most people expect that GPT-like systems will approach human brain-like complexity in about 5, maybe max 10 years' time. Now, when you use GPT today, of course, education, many people have criticized GPT and say, well, it did not do this, it did not do that, it got this wrong, it's not necessarily intelligent enough. And the reality is that it is very difficult to predict how the intelligence, or at least the output of the systems, will behave and look like in 5 years' time. And this is also proven by a lot of psychological research where people have proven that human beings are actually very poor at thinking about exponential progress. So whenever you have exponential trends, human beings can't relate to it. We live in a linear world. We're good at discussing and thinking about linear trends, and exponential trends just simply beat our minds. We can't actually think about it. So today, I would just want to mention that in education, we all have to be extremely cautious, extremely mindful that what we are seeing is just the start of the tsunami. Now, what will the tsunami look like in full force in 5, 10 years' time remains to be seen. But if you look at the trends in the last few years, the trends actually can be either frightening or tremendously exciting, depending on which perspective you take. Now, one example out here, which is very interesting, is what will happen when systems become intelligent like human beings. Now, you might actually come and say, well, they'll not be creative, or they will not have empathy, and they will not be able to show the human empathy that a teacher today can show to a student. Now, here, once again, I will ask you to be very cautious, because some of you might have seen this Hollywood movie, Her. And in the movie Her, it's a wonderful movie. I recommend it strongly to you. The main actor in the movie basically falls in love with the operating system. And then later on finds out in the movie that the operating system is also in love with, or at least has many other men or other people in love with the operating system. Now, this might seem like a science fiction. The movie Her was released in 2013. In 2014, Microsoft in China created a chatbot called Xiaosei. And Xiaosei is actually a chatbot that is now spun off as a separate company. But Xiaosei has today more than 600 million Chinese males as boyfriends. Okay. So what is interesting is that Xiaosei is a chatbot that was designed to trigger emotional bonds and make another person fall in love with the agent. And the fact that it has 600 million plus people in love with the agent, with this chatbot, shows that technology today has reached a point at which can actually even form bonds of empathy with human beings. The only reason why tech companies haven't actually rolled this out large scale in your Amazon, Alexa, or Siri or other systems is because they're very worried about backlash from community. Now, the whole tech community, tech industry has perfected the whole idea of addictive behaviors. The way the interfaces are designed, and Facebook and other kinds of systems are designed to stimulate addictive behavior. The tech industry already has found out how to create emotional bonds. It's just not rolled out there as yet. So think of a situation where you have intelligent agents that not only are very intelligent, but actually are able to form emotional bonds with people. And systems like these are actually in use already in specialized domains, like, for example, psychological counseling of disturbed teenagers, where often disturbed teenagers find it very hard to talk to the parents or school teachers. These kind of systems are already being used for specific domains, but the future is not far where technology will be more or less an equal partner to human beings. And what does the world look like when technology is actually equal partner to human beings, both in terms of knowledge, in terms of creativity, in terms of being able to form empathic bonds? And that is the world which is coming in education. So when you look at education, technology, and intelligence, I really would like to request all of us to really think and be open to the fact that things could change dramatically in 10 years' time. Think of the music industry. 20 years ago, a lot of people in the music industry thought that the industry was pretty stable, well-defined, few major players operating. Today, the whole industry is upside down, blown upside down. Many other sectors are getting blown upside down. And our industry is also going to come for a major shakeup. And I can tell you that this shakeup is coming. Whether it's 10 years or 20 years, it's only a question of time, but it's going to happen. Let me close with the message that in light of this overall context of technology progressing in multiple ways so strongly, we all have to be very humble. We all have to be very open to learning. And universities in general tend to be very closed and supply driven. So the typical mode in which professors operate is that I have the knowledge as a professor, and it's my duty to, in fact, convey the knowledge to my students in the classroom or some other setting. So there's a very strong supply-centric mindset in academia in general. And that's one reason why academia has a lot of difficulty in experimenting and actually having disruptive innovations imposed and sort of spread across academia. And I think what we need to do is, as an industry, we need to look at other sectors that have gone through disruptions, for example, the tech industry, and see what has worked out there. And what has worked out there really at a very simplistic level is looking at externally. A lot of the major disruptions come from outside the company, come from outside our own organizations. And we need to be able to have this ability to spread out, look, learn from others, and to be able to innovate and innovate with the external inputs, external acquisitions, external partnerships. And this, I think, is the need of the hour right now, because someone will create the future of education. Education is not going away, but someone will create the future, and the future doesn't look the way it looks right now. And that is our collective challenge, to make sure that we are a meaningful part of it. And most important, we are able to serve our students in the right way for their own better futures. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Professor Sumitra Datta. It's a matter of great pride to hear from you. And thank you so much for cherry picking the most deliberated topic of ChatGPT. And moreover, the way you have imbibed that how technology would be shaking up the coming decades, and you inspired our students to be humble, and both academicians and the students to be adaptable to be prepared for the coming future. Thank you so much, Professor Datta.
I take this opportunity to thank Professor Sumitra Datta, a very good friend, and those who are specially flying from India, specifically researchers and students. We are really lucky that you have been able to attend a session with Professor Sumitra Datta, on whom every Indian feels so proud. He is the Dean of said business school at Oxford, and a testimony of academic excellence, that how with the hard work a person can reach in a university and can create a landmark. Give a huge applause to him.
Thank you very much, Dr. Singh. Thank you very much, all friends and colleagues.
Further, may I take this moment to express my great pleasure to connect with the network of our alumni and share that we are the only universities whose alumni have their footprints in all countries of the world. The diverse nature of our conference reflects the rich array of inclusiveness of all stakeholders in constructively reshaping the world. And hence, this gives a proof that how MIT University has its spread across all nations across the world. The top 10 most innovative countries in 2022 were Switzerland, US, Sweden, United Kingdom, Netherlands, South Korea, Singapore, and Germany. An innovative economy is characterized by business sophistication, market statistics, infrastructure, human capital research, and creative outputs. I may take this honor to thank our alumni who are spread across all these domains and are doing absolutely great in all the countries of the world. Dear August gathering, Please welcome them with a huge round of applause. We also have amongst us Mr. Taha Kobon Kute, Alumni President, MET UK and CEO UK of Asia Business Council. May I request Mr. Taha to please be on the stage and address an audience.
Taha has requested that I should talk something about him. And do I remember him? So let me talk. 1999 batch. Yes. Look, I remember you. So 1999 batch, the young man, and those who are their students, let me tell you that how important it is for you to understand that your alumni has done so well. Taha is today the chairman of one of the most important business councils in UK. Very successful person, very successful entrepreneur, very successful businessman. But why I am trying to talk about him is that long time back in the year 1999, when we look back and we see that how he became so successful. Can I please request you if you can sit down, please? Yeah, please settle down first. So I think, please settle down quickly, all of you. Yeah. So all those who are young and who are here in this hall, Taha was a person who was always very innovative. Today he is doing so well. People talk about him. He is going to contest elections next time in UK. He is the chairman of one of the business councils, doing exceptionally well. But I think that what was unique in Taha when he was studying at MIT was that he always wanted to take an extra step. He wanted to organize something. I remember for the first time when we were together, I said, Taha, what you can do for the institution? And he immediately came up and he said that I will like to organize an event for the institution. So, and he was very young, so from Kashmir, we knew that how he's going to do that. But even when he was from a minority, he proved to the majority that what it takes to become successful. He not only led the student team at that time, but made each one of us spellbound the way he was organizing things. And he came to UK. We were not really sure that what he's going to do. He came, he struggled, he made his own way, and came back to give to his country and to his institution. There are very few who will come back to the university to give back. Years later, when I met him in London, and I said that, Taha, we feel so proud on you. And he said that, sir, I want to give back to MIT. And whenever you feel that I should be able to come back, I will be coming back. So when we organized Professor Petford, you remember in Bush, there was a star, rock star from UK, which came, Taha brought. So give a huge applause to the alumni. And as Dr. Chauhan, your chancellor, was saying, that university is as good as bad. It is, if you look at the alumni and where they are. So we feel so proud that when we see these youngsters who were very naughty in college, but when we see them today, that what they have been able to do, we feel so proud. So in every conference, we keep a special session where we call few of our outstanding alumni who can talk. I can see Mr. Bansal here also from ASP. Very nice to see you. I can see a lot of our alumni here, but they listen to them, their experiences, and you will be able to take a lot of inspiration. I will not stand between you and Taha, but since Taha, you wanted it, I should introduce you. Thank you. I'm here, but we feel so proud of you. Please.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. You know, Sir's introduction has made me nostalgic and emotional at the same time. Started my journey in Amity in 1999. And I was the backbencher, but I was Sir's champion. And I can not forget the word champion because he used to say, backbencher hai bare champion. So those of you who understand Hindi. I came to the UK, I studied, I did what I had to do. But, you know, back in India, we were pampered. We had everything that we could think of. Our parents provided us with everything. I promised myself when I came to this country that I will not take money from my parents. And what I did was I started my career as a Pizza Hut delivery driver. Do you think this guy needed to do that? Never. But that's the way you learn about life. The hardships. I come from a very humble background. I don't need to be a driver, but I did it because I wanted to teach myself the value of money, the value of culture. And that's where I started my journey in this country from. Today, I'm the chairman of the UK Asian Business Council. And just a few weeks back, rather last week, I was invited by the government of Uzbekistan to be the international observer for the referendum that they have adopted for the new constitution. So this is where I have arrived at. And how I've done that, it's taken me about 20 years to get here. It wasn't an easy ride. It's not like, you know, you see in films, things happen in a jiffy. There's no shortcut in life. If anybody tells you you will be a millionaire, I'm sorry, my friend, you probably will go to jail, or you will do something in your life which will land you in a lot of trouble, which will bring heartache and pain for your near and dear ones. Saying that, like Sir said, I wanted to give back to the university, and I wanted to start this alumni networking, which I'm very proud of that Amity has done. Sir has taken the suggestion. And if you see anywhere in the world, whether it is Harvard, Stanford, whichever university you take, at the end of the day, it is the alumni which will help each other to get where they have to get to. When you walk into an interview, within 10 to 15 seconds, it is decided whether you will be hired or not, before you even utter a word. You know why? Because of all the background networking which has gone to get you to that table. So say, for example, if you come to work for me, my first point of call will be Sir, and I'll ask him, what do you think? And based on his conversation, 90% of the work is done. So networking is extremely important for you in life. Don't ever stop yourself from asking a question. You know, now India has changed a lot. It's been 21 years since I've left India. When we were in India, we were told not to ask questions. Our time of growth was very different than your time of growth. You are growing with social media. You are growing with open media. You have the right to ask anything, anywhere. You can stop a policeman today and ask him if he or she is doing her job properly. We couldn't. What I'm trying to get at is, whether you're sitting in a classroom, whether you are outside, whether you are going for a job interview, whether you are in whichever situation, if you have a question in mind, ask, because you don't want to leave that room thinking, I should have asked that question, because that one question can change your life. Why? Because it might give you something which you wanted to know and you couldn't gather at that time. And that information can land you where I am today. I was not an extrovert when I was growing up. I became an extrovert. I started asking questions. I started interacting with people. Do you know the reason I stand here today is only based on one thing. I go out, I meet people, I network, and I talk to them. I'm a problem solver. I'm not a problem giver. Like Sir said, when he asked me, what can you do? I could have said, you know, sir, this is the problem, that is the problem. Amity doesn't provide me this, I can't do it. What did I say in turn? I said, I will organize an event because I saw the gap. That is the innovation he's talking about. Right now, while coming here, I'm late. You know why? Because I was solving a problem. Two banks were fighting over a very large transaction today in millions. They were talking for half an hour about the problem. Nobody once said, this is the solution. And I said, guys, can you please all stop? I've been hearing this for half an hour. This is the solution. Can we follow it? In 5 minutes, the problem was solved. The money was transferred. So are we looking at the problem or are we finding a solution? Ask yourself that question. People waste 90% of their time in talking about the problem. Nobody wants to talk about the solution, which is very easy to find. Today, Amity is over 5 continents. You know why? Because of the vision of Sir. Because of the vision of people like him at Amity. Give him a applause. Like people from Harvard say, you know, they're from Harvard, from Stanford, Kellogg's. I say to people, I'm from Amity. I don't even utter a word of the University of London or University of whatever it is. I say I'm a proud Amitian because today Amity is a university which is in Uzbekistan. How many people in the world know there's a country called Uzbekistan? Not many, believe me. How many universities in the world can go to Japan and open a campus? You should be very, very proud of the university you are at because it has given you a open play field in countries where you couldn't even think of. So on that note, thank you very much for listening to me. And
Thank you so much, Mr. Taha. I'm sure this will instill the reviving thoughts in my students and how to take pride in whatever you are doing, and whatever you stand for, truthfully. So a huge round of applause, please. Nevertheless, to mention, I feel extremely thankful to the other alumni who are present here on the esteemed conference today. I would like to mention the name of Ms. Tulika Hora, Ms. Prachi Saraswat, Mr. Vipin Bansal, who are doing very, very well in different domains of their life, in different industries. So Amity take this honor to confer upon the Amity Alumni Excellence Award. We would like to start over with Mr. Taha for that. For that, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Gurinder Singh to felicitate him with this honor.
Can I request Dr. Lumi, Dr. Barber, and Professor Nick Redfield if you can join us?
Oh, sure. May I please invite Ms. Prachi Saraswat, Ms. Tulika Hora, and Mr. Vipin Bansal on the stage, please. Over to you, Tulika. Good afternoon, everyone. And so I'm Prachi Saraswat, as you all are aware, and I'm very thankful to my faculty and to my college who has given me this much confidence, and I'm stand up here. And about myself, I would like to say something in short. I'll take only 2 minutes. I have HR experience. I had great experience earlier in Amity, India. I did hiring for continuously 2-3 years, like continuously. When my last organization, I was working with FinTech, and I was mentoring the freshers how they can grow in their field and what kind of guidance they require in the same. So here also, as I shifted a few months back here, and I'm thinking for the same as Amity is here, and I'm very happy for the same. I'll grow my relationship continuously with Amity. Thank you so much. Thank you, Prachi. May I now invite Ms.
Online, and then you can just play Siddharth's video.
Sure, sir.
This is again a story of a student who was doing well in India. Then he thought of going abroad. Siddharth and Shivangi, they are Taha, your junior.
Yes, no, my batch.
Your batch. So Taha the batch was very unique batch, but both of them, they got married and they were doing reasonably well in India. When they thought that they have to go abroad and in search of excellence, they went abroad. And today Siddharth is doing exceptionally well. And when Siddharth was settling abroad, I asked him one question. I said, Siddharth, why you want to go? You are doing well in India. And this is what he had to answer. And I was not very sure that what he's going to do, but then he has created his own niche area. Today, he runs a company. Shivangi runs a company. Both of them extremely successful. But the first 2 years, the way they struggled, it was a story. I would like Siddharth to speak about it.
Hello, Amity. Quick introduction. My name is Siddharth, and oh my god, amongst the Amity alumni, I feel really old. Batch of 1999 International Business. Yes, that's one of the very first initial batches for IB. And guess what? We were taught by our own Dr. Gurinder Singh. No Facebook, no LinkedIn, no WhatsApp. I'm not part of any alumni group, but I am still connected with Gurinder sir. And that's the power of Amity. That's the warmth that sir shares with each of his students. Amity holds a very special place in my heart. That's where I met my beautiful wife Shivangi. Yes, we were in the same batch of 1999. Life is not about how successful you are financially. You'll always find someone better than you. Life is about creating a positive impact on someone else's life. Life is about taking chances. Life is about experimenting. One of the biggest experiments I did with my life was to leave a secure job in India at the age of 42 and move to Sydney with my 2 sons and wife. That was scary. And you know why I did it? Because my wife said, let's have some fun. Jokes apart, don't be afraid of taking a leap. It may work, it may not work, but at the end of the day, you will not have any regrets. It doesn't matter what I do Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. What really matters to me is what I do beyond that. I play field hockey. I voluntarily coach women's girls hockey team. I do boating. I do cycling. I donate a small part of my earning back in India to a voluntary organization. That makes me feel very satisfied and content. Loads and loads of love from Sydney, sharing with you a couple of pics from the land of sports.
That is Shivangi, their son, whom we saw, of your age now. This is Shivangi. Yeah, Taha remembers now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's always good to see them. Yes. Thank you. And that's what about life is all about. With that note, let's take up some young alumni who are here. We have a sports captain of one of the institutions. Come here.
AI for you. Come here. It won't read your coffee, but it will tell you who's happy on customer service. Dialpad AI for customer service, sales, and team collaboration, all in one app.
Okay, fine. So this boy you see, Kanish Jain, come here. He is also your alumni. And why I'm introducing him? Kanish, which batch you were?
2009.
2009. He was with us. And while he was doing his MBA, by the way, what you did when you were in engineering, give that story. And that's why I told few naughty students to be here, so that you know that what life gives you back. When Kanish was in engineering, he was doing engineering, they did a demonstration. For only time when MIT had a demonstration was his batch. And do you know who was leading that demonstration? It was Kanish Jain, president of students. You know, that he was coming on the gate, and everyone was very scary that he is having hundreds and thousands of students. And your chancellor, who was very charismatic, and myself, we were watching on camera. So I said, let me speak to him. People said, no, 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 don't go. I love my students. So I went all alone to speak to him. I said, come down. And like I told you, sit down. Right. So we have a right on you because we like you, the gentleman who came to see me in the hotel. I just sat, and today he has been introduced with Lord Villemoria, who has promised that he is going to see that he becomes successful story. He's going to help him in his distillery plant. So that is how we nurture our students. We love them. We see our kids in you. So I told him, I said, come down. And he said, no, I'll not come down. I said, you need to come down. And he came down and we sat for about 20 minutes. And after 20 minutes, he apologized and he said that, sir, I think that this was not the right way. Though whatever he was saying was right. So, but he said that, no, sir, this is not the way. He was right. And we start liking each other. He came and he started, he said that I want to be your student. I normally take 5 students who become my mentee every year. And I ensure, like Taha was one, Kanishk is another one. And I said that, well, you can become. Do you know that we were launching AGBS at that time? Lumi, you didn't join Loom at that time, London, but Kanish came with me to London. That is the kind of confidence we had students. 19-year-old boy. I said, come, travel with me. So he came, he helped us in establishing various campuses in India. He helped us to establish a campus in London. He went with me to Singapore, helped me to establish various campuses. And then he worked with us for about 3-4 years. And then he said that, sir, I want your blessings. I want to start my own business. So I said, you please go back and you start. So he started Kanishk Enterprises, very successful venture in Chandigarh. So what he did, and then years back, and then we lost contact. And then years later, look at the confidence a student has in a university and with the mentor. He calls me up, sir, I want to meet you. And what was my next answer? So I said, you join us. Like, we didn't ask what issue he had. I didn't ask what problem he had, but he said that, sir, I want to speak to you on phone. I said, you join us. Right? Today, he is so ably leading international affairs. Give a huge applause to him. And why I'm telling you this story, that MIT is your family. Whenever you have any issues, even when you grow up and you have a family of about 100,000 people, 200,000 students are currently with us. Any point of time you have any issues, you can come to us. I feel so proud. I was in France before coming here. There were tens of students who were there at the airport to receive me. I am going to New York. I don't have to worry because I know that on the airport, my students, my kids will be there. When I come to London, yesterday it was closed. No one was working. And someone was asking that, how will you do it? Your chancellor was asking that, how you did do it? It is not easy, isn't it, Lumi? Yeah. Right. So, but we feel so easy because we have got our alumni with us. There are strength. You just need to call. You need to call Taha, you need to call Pragya, you need to call Akanksha, you need to call Bansal. They will come running to you and they will come. And that's what life is all about. It's about giving back. That if you seriously like kids, and that's what MIT culture is all about. We love you. It's your institution. It's your university. I have taught in almost all the leading institutions of the world. All these are my friends. From Oxford, from Harvard, from MIT. I have been there. But let me tell you, the word doesn't go with the brands. I told you that when we were having dinner together. And why I took a dinner with you. He just came to say me hello. But I always thought that if you're someone, a student who's 18-year-old is coming and is want to see me, I should sit with him. So we had about 45 minutes. And I know his story. And that's what I was telling my faculty. That when you meet people, for each one of them, you need to understand. So we sat and I asked what you want to be. He wrote a story on McDonald's, isn't it? You are. I said, you don't have to write a story on McDonald's. That's academic, too much academic. What you want to be. So he said that I want to become and want to establish a distillery plant. So I said, where you want to do it? He said, I want to do McGill. And one of my very close friends, Professor Bedford Notes, Professor Deep Sani, Professor Deep Sani is a vice chancellor. So he said that, can you write a LOR to me? So I said, I can get you in McGill. But you think about it, is that a university where you want to? Because ultimately, at the end of the day, in your blood is entrepreneurship. And if you want to become successful businessman, necessarily don't you have to go to McGill. You can go to any university. So he said, sir, I need a mentor. So I said, well, I don't know because I don't drink. right? So I will not be able to maybe mentor you on beer. But we had a conversation, and he wants to now do flavored beer, what I understand from him. And Lord Moria, such a great entrepreneur. I think the best selling beer in UK is Cobra. He has agreed to mentor him and to establish his distillery plant. So that is a power of networking. That if you will, and that is why we organize such sessions with you, that we sat with you people. We are able to understand. Yesterday there was another girl, his father is known to us, I'll not like to name. I just invited her, why don't you come for a dinner? So and she was thinking that why all of the sudden he is calling. So and what I asked her, I said, what do you like to eat? So we went to Punjab restaurant along with few people, and I said, what do you like to eat? And she was very hesitant. So I said, like you, I think that you like sweets. So we had gulab jamun and gajar ka halwa. I'm 100% sure that years later, when you will become a CEO and when you will be very successful, you come to London, and when you will sit with your family, with your friends, you will always remember Punjab, and when you had a gulab jamun and gajar ka halwa, right? And this is all what is life all about. As alumni, have very close networking, and we have given this responsibility to Taha and few others who are present, that create a alumni network. There should be thousands of people, and then and they have agreed that they should give back. So any point of time you want internships, you want projects, you want to learn which country you want to go, you want to do networking, you want to settle somewhere, you want to understand whether it's a country for you, whether you should go, like for example, he wanted to go to a university, and I said, no, you don't have to go necessarily to that university. Getting admission is something different, but finishing it off and then becoming successful is very, very different. So you need good mentors, you need good people who have seen life. Everyone does mistakes, but your alumni network will help you. This girl I spoke to, Yashna. There's the story behind her also. So this is a final year. Yeah, so she will be going back. So I'm telling you, such small things can generate a spark. She was playing, and I saw her playing, and I called her up and I said that, what do you want to be in your life? So she said that, I want to become very successful. So I said that I'm giving you a job. That there was a time that your institution was always among top 10, right, for the 10 years, but they are nowhere in the last 6 years. Will you be able to make it up? So and she said, yes sir, I will try. And she created a team. Now I'm telling you, with my experience, whatever little experience I have in my life, you will become successful not because you have a degree. You will become successful because you created a team. She created a team out of no girl student. She created a team of girl students, and her institution won because she was able to lead that team. So they came and our top. When the students were coming in, I normally don't tell that where you need to go. So she simply asked that, is sir going? So someone said yes. I said, I would like to go to London. So and I'm telling you, this will help you. So many things are untold stories, motivation, and it will only come when you will be able to be inspired by other people. I just got a message on my computer. There's another boy. Balvinder, are you there? He's there.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please come on camera. This is another student, a very old student of ours, that I think 2000 batch or
same batch.
Same
2001.
batch. 2001 batch. So Balvinder was Balvinder, if you allow me, can I give you a story a bit, or you would like to narrate?
No, no, sir, absolutely. Please go ahead, sir.
Should I not?
Please, sir, please go ahead.
Balvinder was one of the leading models, right? He used to walk on the ramp. He was very strong. He never used to wear pagdi at that time. He was not having beard, right? He was a cut sir. Never believed in God. A person who was who always wanted to do things differently. Always had complaints in life. I remember. So we started talking to each other, and we always wanted Professor Petford that he should become successful.
Yes, yeah, and he has become successful.
And then now what he has done is that he has created a place for himself. Not only that he got a job in UK, he is heading the business unit. Very, very successful. But we want to know from you, Bulwinder, your experiences. What changed your life? And what was the contribution of MIT, your teachers, your professors, and your message to the student? All of them, they are 40, 42, maybe the age of your dad, right? But all of them, they have really done well in their life. That's why we wanted that they should speak to you. Over to you, Bulwinder.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I think it's always a pleasure, speaking to sir and people from MIT and all walks of life. I think everyone from my batch would always say this, that the 2 years which we spent in Amity University, Amity College in Noida, were the best years of our life. And I'll tell you specific reason. The foundation stone for anything in life is very, very important. The kind of platform Amity University offers, the kind of infrastructure, the people, the kind of vibe, energy, there is absolutely no comparison to it. And I'm telling you, any place you go in the world, people might say, okay, Amity is the 5th best, 4th best, it is not among the top 5, top 7. Those are just ratings in life. The kind of infrastructure and platform Amity offers to each one of us, and I'm talking this after 20 years out of college, is the best in the world. It is like that old saying, that a horse can be brought towards the river or the water. But whether the horse wants to drink or not, it is your own will and wish. The kind of mentorism, the kind of, torch bearer Gurinder sir has been, or other professors has been, was always one thing in life, that you want to be successful, keep the focus 100% on that. And success will touch your feet one day. I come from a very humble beginning. My father retired from the Indian Army. I was a typical middle-class person. But today I can proudly say I was heading UK, Europe, and Africa sales for Lodha Group. I've just now changed my job, and I'm heading Larsen & Toubro Realty, which is the biggest real estate and infrastructure company in India. If any one of you ever come to Mumbai, pass by, please give me a shout. I'll share my details. Taha has most of my details. I still travel a lot between UK and Europe for work. But I can tell you one thing. Amity gives you that platform of everything possible which a student needs. Now it is up to you to give your best and create the best in the industry. So, please, like Sir just said, yes, I used to complain in life, but today when I look at, 20 years of journey, and I see that those 2 years gave me the blessed platform, the arms and ammunition, the resources, the energy, the direction was there. अब हमें आगे जाना है या नहीं जाना, whether we want to walk or run is totally up to us. I did it, along with me, so many of colleagues did it. So let's actually take this opportunity to run and make sure we make Amity proud, we make our parents proud, we make Gurinder sir proud, we make every professor proud, because each one of them wants us to be successful in the corporate world and the business world. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Bulwinder, and please give my regards to your father. I remember
Thank you, sir.
When I met him for the first time, he had so many questions for us, and we promised that there will be a day when Bulwinder will not only become successful, he will smile, he will still walk on ramp, but he will also be running a good company. We feel so proud on you to see you as a head of the L&D.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
We have a lot of alumni, but I will just call two. Rest, I think that we will take your recorded version and will send to the students. They are hungry, and I think there are guests they have to go for. So we would request of all, okay, Tulika and Mr. Bansal. Tulika was our student of MBA 3 Continent. And we want to understand that what she's doing. She's an entrepreneur doing so well here in UK. A 3 Continent batch student. We'd like you to speak, and then where's Bans? Please come on the stage. Both of you, and he has done a very young student from BBA, from ASB. Today I met him. I have not met you earlier, but today when I met him, I could see humbleness in him. After MIT, he went to Westminster, I think, and doing so well. So over to both of you.
Good afternoon, everybody, and good afternoon. It's so much fun, and it's so much I feel so elated to see Gurinder sir, Meghna ma'am, and so many familiar faces. We think we've come out, and we often forget those memories. And as everybody said, that there is a base which Amity created for us. So when I came to Amity in 2015, I was a lost child, I would say. I was a headless chicken trying to figure out my life, where to go, what's my vehicle in life. But one thing was very clear was my dream, that I had a dream and there was a purpose why I was there. And the dream was very simple, to contribute to as many as lives as I could. And at the age of 20, 22, I think it's a very superficial dream for so many, because we are trying to build our careers, we're trying to build our lives, we're trying to earn money for our livelihood. But honestly, after establishing two businesses in printing and packaging, and as well as e-commerce, um, and taking it across the globe, I feel that the journey has just begun. There are so many things which we need to do. Like, for example, I shouldn't share that, but I think I'm sharing this because I want to tell people that do as much as you can. People say that I don't have time in life. There's nothing like that. We have so much time in life. If we want to do something, we will do it. Like, I teach underprivileged kids from across from UK to in India. There are 6 kids I mentor, because I do whatever I have in my heart and in my mind, especially during COVID. I help them learn English, and now these kids are, I won't say they can speak fluent English, but they can speak so very well. They can speak with you guys now. They have the confidence to speak. So that's what I want to say, that Amity built in so much confidence. As I was a long lost child. Now I think I've reached a little bit ahead of where I was. And I'm so thankful to Amity, Meghna ma'am, Gurinder sir, thank you.
Well, hello and namaste to everyone. First of all, thank you, sir. Thank you, Ruchika ma'am, for inviting me here. And I haven't prepared anything specific, but I would just like to tell you guys that the Amity has given you an opportunity which is world class, not just infrastructure, but in terms of modules, the faculty that you have, and all the societies that we have in Amity is world class. I studied in Amity, then I came to London, and the modules that I studied in Amity were also a part of like a small module in my Westminster University as well. So the education is really good in terms of, and the faculty, again, I have to mention Ruchika ma'am. She has taught me personally in marketing, and it's been amazing journey. The platform that Amity gave me and the experience, not just educational experience, but the experimental and the practical experience that Amity provided me is really, really important. That has helped me where I am today. Also, I wasn't part of SAP program like you guys, but I got an opportunity to be a part of international exchange program. And I went to US, to Claflin University. I was only the 3 students out of the 3 students who went to Claflin University in 2020, right before COVID. And I guess remember that how they helped us come out from US on the very last flight before COVID hit. And so thank you so much for that as well. So yeah, thank you so much for all the great experiences that I have got in Amity and the great friend circle that I have in Amity. They're still in touch with me. We are really close to each other. And thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Bansal. We will talk to other alumni later. We have their recorded messages. But thank you, everyone. I can see our friends since morning, they're waiting for you. But if we have done something little for children, it is because of your untiring efforts, which you have been doing. You have been helping. Mr. Barber, before we close this session, if you can also come here, especially flying from Uzbekistan, very able director. And that is what young leadership is all about. When we meet young people, we often say that you can see the energy in them and the way they are leading. When we met Mr. Barber, he was deputy director or yeah, not even deputy director. But as a young person, we could see that he had an amazing energy, amazing energy. I remember that we met at Haya and in Uzbekistan as Tashkent, and we were trying to see that and everyone was busy in partying or So, and I wanted someone to type, and I'm very poor in typing. And I was trying to do corrections, which is my field, looking at documents, creating new partnership. And there was no one to help. Everyone was going here, there. So, and I saw this young man, and I said, will you be able to help me? Right. And I think that he realized it sometime, vibrations. And he came and he started doing it. And I saw in this young man that he has got an energy, he has got a zeal, he has got a leadership style. We feel so happy that today he is leading our Tashkent campus. He's like a vice chancellor, but doing the things. But well done, Babar. Please say a few lines.
Thank you so much. It's my honor to be here and standing in front of you. Actually, the story in Uzbekistan starts from the 2018 when the president of Uzbekistan came to India and said, we need Amity to come to Uzbekistan. I was working that time for the Ministry of ICT, Information Technologies. I was heading the department there of the strategic projects, and Amity was given to me to start in Uzbekistan as a strategic project. To be honest, I was leading the department. I had more than 10 such projects that time. I never decided to move to one of them. Okay, I was leading the creation of other universities, 3 IT companies, a lot of projects. But then Chancellor came to Tashkent with all the delegation and said, he said, gave this stick to me. And I thought that time, oh my God, I'm joining Amity. Then, as Dr. Singh gave the story, I was doing a lot of things there to establish Amity, but I was planning to go to the other projects then. But when I joined Amity, when Chancellor asked me, will you join Amity? I asked the back how big Amity will become in Uzbekistan. Otherwise, I don't want to be this part of the small project. He said, it will become as big as you decide to do it. Then after the great presentation of the person with the turban in Uzbekistan, of the Dr. Singh, we got 500 students for the first year. It was a great achievement. Initially we were planning to have somewhere around 100 students, but 500 for the first year. And now we have more than 1,000 students running the university. To be honest, maybe small things to give you. A lot of people here today talked about the achievements, your dreams, your things, but how to come to this? I remember the ages when I was like you. What I did is I just realized what I was doing throughout the years in my life. In my childhood, I started from the store. I was selling the things, then joined the library and got in love with the books and read a lot of it. And the ministry, I met the two presidents of my country several times. And all these experience give me the chance to become the person who am I now right now. And I'm sure that all of you have your unique story about this kind of things.
And you organized for the first time. And
Yes.
he is very humble. In Uzbekistan, they hardly speak to companies. So, yes. And we wanted to create jobs and we wanted to create business, which is a specialty of ours, because we want our students to be having meaningful career. So when we started talking, very tough job we gave him. So we said that, Mr. Babar, you need to work on doing the first entrepreneurship summit in Tashkent, and you have to invite 100 companies. And no one thought that he will be able to do that, and that too in Uzbekistan. Yes. And he did it, and that is what he is.
And this was best 100 companies present in Uzbekistan. And actually, we have around 1,000 students, but the number of students who came to this conference was more than 4,000. So lots of from the other universities. And we are in Amity in Tashkent. We're the biggest organizer of the hackathons, lots of competitions also, where lots of students from other universities also join us because they see the power of the things going on in Amity. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. And Professor Vicky Lester will be going now to Uzbekistan. But thank you very much, everyone who is here. Dr. Jain specifically told me that he doesn't want to say anything. But thank you so very much for coming here and making the things very special, Professor Petford. It is certainly an intellectual treat to meet you. And as we say that friends are forever. So one thing which we have never done is that we have never changed our friends. So we will always remember you, a person who has not only strengthened MIT, but has always supported us. Thank you so very much. Dr. Lumi, it is your institution, so we'll not talk much about it, but thank you. Mr. Simon, we look up to you as a person, and we look forward to creating meaningful partnership. Professor Licky Lester, with you, MIT is dreaming of great future. We promised you that we are going to create the largest number of cases in the world. And believe me, that 10 years down the line, when people will sit together, they will take the case center name and MIT's name and what they have contributed. Professor Sabu, always a pleasure to see you in Southampton and here. Look, sometimes the mentor, they can create a history. What he told you was that one of the students, if they have done well and if the globally they have been given the scholarship, I would say that 10% efforts were of the students, but then 90% of the efforts were of the Southampton team, which worked very closely with the MIT team. So please give a huge applause to a team from Southampton. And Mr. Barber, you are young, sky is a limit for you. In you, we see our future. And for all amazing young students who are here, who are right now, many of you are very young, very naughty. Always keep this naughty things alive in you, because when you will grow up, you will automatically become very, very serious. So please do enjoy your life. But whenever you are coming to the conferences like this, try to imbibe, try to gain experience. But thank you so very much for making and helping MIT what it is. We will be continuing our discussions, case presentations today and tomorrow, and look forward to welcoming you tomorrow. We have kept a lunch for you. Please, before you go, take your lunch. It was such a pleasure to welcome each one of you. Thank you so very much. Tulika, just 1 minute. Tulika and Vipin, if you can come on the stage.
The audience will meet back once the Springer conference starts. It's a break for the lunch. Thank you.